high-speed chase ended in a crash.
From the moments that matter.
Let's take a look at those live pictures right now from Sky 5, and you can see
when seconds count.
Authorities say they are very concerned for the safety of the public. And
when your safety is the priority.
It's still an active scene. Take a look behind
And
me.
we begin at 6 with that breaking news. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens.
Watch WRAL News. Breaking news coverage you can count on.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your six," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, rock star. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A little bit cooler this afternoon with the clouds and the rain around. Our high temperatures will climb into the upper 80s. Some of the storms this afternoon will produce some heavy downpours, so be on the lookout for bonding on the roads and some isolated flooding. 72 with storms ending tonight, but they do redevelop tomorrow afternoon and evening. Tomorrow, a little warmer with a high of 88.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 1,005 points to 54,183.
Deep left corner of the end zone! Jalen Coker hauls it in for a touchdown!
Off the back. Iron Wilson comes soaring in to dunk it home.
Copeland jabs on him a couple of times. Step back three-pointer, left corner, swish.
One dribble out for Boozer for three. Big time!
And the Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Going up on a Tuesday, I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. One day closer to Thursday's Hall of Fame game. Preseason opener for the Carolina Panthers. One day closer to Carolina Hurricanes games. We are 2 months from today. Real games, home opener.
8 weeks.
Raise the banner.
8 weeks.
But I don't want to. That's like when I get mad when it's like middle of July and my wife is talking about fall. I'm like, we still have so much fantastic summer to get through. Let's not get there yet. So let's focus on the football, shall we? And we'll do that by starting the show the same way we do every day with the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
The entire Big 3 at 3 brought to you by Maynor Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical work. If you need help, if you need something fixed, Maynor Service Company. MAYNOR Services.com. Number 1 is the latest out of Carolina Panthers practice. First of all, daily, weekly, whatever you want to say, update on an injury from today's practice. By the way, today's practice was not a super physical practice, but Xavier Legette was taken off the field and did some checking up. There was perhaps maybe a head injury worry. Dave Canales, post-practice, did speak to the media, and he updated everybody on the status of Xavier Legette. And we have that audio for you, and it's
made a really nice play, high pointed it. Cam Miller's in great position, came down really hard, went in, evaluated him, cleared him of concussion, but it looks like a stinger, so we're going to evaluate him more over the next day or so and just make sure that he's in the right spot. So we have a nice little window here. He wouldn't be playing in this game, but we have a nice little window to get him turned around and just see where he's at. No concussions? No, they cleared him for that.
So, this is going to sound weird. It's actually really good timing for a boo-boo, because they do have the Hall of Fame game on Thursday, and the starters, of which Xavier Legette is one, especially after the Chris Brazzell injury, are not going to play in that game. So he has some days to get right, and it's not as if he's missing anything super high leverage. So Xavier Legette appears like he dodged the worst of it, which in the last few weeks, anytime a Carolina Panther can be rumored to be involved with something injury-related, if they can dodge the worst of it, I'm considering that a massive victory. Massive victory. Now, I said it wasn't the most, how do we say this, a physical practice.
Yeah, no pads today.
No pads, but also maybe it wasn't the most intense practice, not the sense of urgency. As, again, post-practice, Dave Canales updated us. He had to challenge the guys. Old school. Coach called them up early in practice.
The first drill, I just really wasn't happy with the tempo we were practicing at. We can chase better, we can cover down better, and we have a standard. The players have a standard. When they're not picking it up and talking to each other, it's my job to make sure that we just get it back on track. They did. And then it kind of turned into a little bit over the top, but it was worth it. It was worth just taking that moment. There are quarters that way. There are halves that way. We have to find a way to regroup if we don't come out with the right energy. We have to be able to refocus, play to play, drive to drive. So a great opportunity to just tell them, hey, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like this, and we have to snap out of it and make sure we refocus and get back to our ball.
One of the themes of training camp and really this season for the Carolina Panthers is they have a new offensive play caller. Dave Canales gave it up, and Brad Idzik, the offensive coordinator, is going to be calling plays. Most of our focus has been on what Brad Idzik can bring to the offense, right? A sense of maybe being a little bit more unpredictable, right? Maybe taking a few more chances, better feel for the game, right? That's what Brad Idzik can bring to the play calling spot. Maybe under-talked about is it does free up Dave Canales to do what everybody says is his superpower, which is relating to people, culture, motivation, right? Being somebody that saying the right thing to just about everybody on the team, right? He can interact with the defense more. I think that is kind of what he's talking about there. I'm not saying he never did it last year, but if you're worried about, the offensive skill position group that's going to come over and play 7-on-7 in the next period, you got to be focused on that and getting ready and making sure everybody's in the right spot. You might not have the capacity to catch that the temperature is a little low. Call everybody up, get them fired up. Again, that's what Dave Canales' superpower is if you talk to anybody that's interacted with him. It's the energy. The clip we play about him loving to play football right now, like that is –
I feel great about playing football right now.
And then he said that in April. That's his superpower, and I think he should be able to do more of it with Brad Idzik taking over the play calling.
Well, clearly something worked because it sparked a couple scuffles during practice today as well.
There were some scuffles. There were some helmets thrown.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff as long as nobody gets hurt. That's one of those no. It's like as soon as it crosses some kind of line. But yeah, a little intensity on a Wednesday or a Tuesday. Not hating that at all. That's number one. Let's get to number two.
Number two.
We have to talk about some of the money that was spent in the NFL today. First of all, Bijan Robinson got paid. 3-year deal, $75 million, $51 guaranteed. Less than that guaranteed at signing. Those are confused. But it's essentially year over year, average annual value, the highest paid running back. He does not have the most guaranteed money. That's because Jeremiah Love signed a rookie contract, very highly drafted, which is 100% guaranteed. Rookie contracts are. But it's big money. Okay, $25 million a year for a running back. That's market setting. More interestingly, though, is Zay Flowers also got paid. Zay Flowers being the number one wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. And his contract is for 4 years, $140 million. Includes $108 million guaranteed.
Scrooge McDuck money over here.
That is Scrooge. Yes, he is swimming in a pool full of dollar bills and coins. You want to know the full list of all-time wide receivers that got more than $108 million guaranteed on a contract, because that's what Zay Flowers got. I'll give you the full list. End of list. There's nobody that's ever had more guaranteed money as a wide receiver on a contract than Zay Flowers. Justin Jefferson, second most, 88.7. Jamar Chase, third most, 73.9. Reminder, Zay Flowers, 108 guaranteed.
And he's not better than those guys you mentioned.
He's not better than those guys.
Not
and
even close.
it gets worse because then it's Jackson Smith and Jigba, then it's CeeDee Lamb. Like, I don't know how many you have to go down before you get to somebody worse than Zay Flowers. But it's not anywhere near the top 5. So what does that tell you? Wide receiver market continues to explode. It's not who's the best, it's who's the next. Right? If you are good enough to be a number 1 wide receiver, you are good enough to break the bank. And obviously, shelf life matters, right? Bijan Robinson doesn't get as much as Zay Flowers. I can't believe, and I refuse to believe, that there's an offensive coordinator out there that wouldn't go, I want Bijan more than I want Zay Flowers, right? I'm choosing him. But the difference is, if Zay Flowers threatens to take this thing all the way up to free agency, right? I'm not going to sign. When he hits free agency, he still has, 6, 7, 8 years of top-of-the-line play, so he'll still break the bank. If Bijan Robinson plays that hard ball, I'm going to take it all the way up to free agency. You can franchise tag me, whatever. Then by the time he's asking for money, he's like 26, 27, and running backs largely lose their value by then. So he had to take it now with 2 years left of his contract. Thus, he had to take a more team-friendly deal. So to boil it all down, Tetairoa McMillan's going to be very, very expensive. The Panthers can't wait till then to figure out where the money's going to be. I've said it a bunch of times. You better start planning now. You better have big contracts coming off the books the year you want to pay Tetairoa McMillan. It's going to have to come from somewhere. Or be willing to kick all that money into the future with creative cap practices and then take your medicine years after and just get smoked by the cap. Very lucrative day in the NFL today for a couple of players. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
The AP, not the AP. The coaches poll, not the AP poll. The USA Today coaches poll, top 25 college football, came out the inaugural for this year, the very first for this year. I don't think inaugural is the right term there. But the first for the 2026 college football season. Ohio State got the 1 spot. First time since 2015 they've been number 1. And relatively bleak for the ACC, right? We're always ACC homers, at least I am. Miami comes in 7th. SMU comes in 20th. Clemson comes in 23rd. And that's it in the top 25. That's all. And again, where you start matters because everything else is based off this, right? If Ohio State loses week 1, they're not going to fall out of the rankings. They're going to fall to 8th. You know what I mean? So where you start does matter. And it pretty much, there's probably tiers of it, but it pretty much decides how many losses you can have and still be in the mix nationally. The teams we care about, largely in the also receiving votes category. Speaking ACC, Louisville is in that 26th spot, the first team out that's also receiving votes. If you keep it rolling, Virginia is a few spots below them. Georgia Tech, a few spots below them. Clinging to just 13 votes, 13 points, NC State. They are tied with Florida State just below UNLV in the also receiving votes category. Virginia Tech's getting 12 as an ACC team. Duke, 6 points in the also receiving votes. 6. Pittsburgh, 4, just to put that in perspective. And Cal, the final team, they got 1.
Look at Cal getting some love.
I dare I say it's that one West Coast voter that
it might be.
No, I'm kidding because this is the coach's poll. So
it's true.
It's
might be the same person.
Yeah,
never know.
Stanford coach is just over there like, I'll do a solid cross rivalry. The ACC's got a tough road to hoe. Okay. There's uphill battles. You're going to have to prove everybody wrong if you want to be seen as one of the premier football conferences this year. Obviously, Miami is an outlier, but everybody else, you're one loss or you're already outside of the top 25. SMU and Clemson, you lose 1, you're outside the top 25. Everybody else, you got to win just to get into the top 25. So it is I don't want to say like a dire situation, but you better be on your stuff from the very beginning. Some of these other conferences, they can start slow. Right? Lose a game or two in the first 4, you fall down to 18, then you just win and you crank your way back up the top 25. That's not how it's going to work in the ACC, at least not this year. So we better have a bunch of teams starting hot, including the ones that we cover here in the Triangle and Wake Forest. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Big 3 at 3, presented by Maynard Service Company. When we come back, the Panthers, ahead of their game on Thursday, preseason game, but still game on Thursday, put out the very first depth chart from the team that we've seen this year. I'll let you know what surprises us and what is of note coming up.
I'm Galen, co-founder of Brooklyn SolarWorks. With my Chase Inc. Business Premier Card, I get unlimited 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more. So everything we buy to run our solar business gives us cash back that we put back into the neighborhood, donating solar panels to community gardens.
Chase Inc. Cashback built for every business. Find the right card at chase.com/inc. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
You pull up at a McDonald's drive-thru at the crack of dawn to get your $3 crispy chicken biscuit. You've been craving it all night. It was a very long night, but your taste buds pulled through. Those are no ordinary taste buds, and you are no ordinary human. You are a champion, and you deserve a $3 crispy chicken biscuit. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Because you guys do everything for the exterior of your home, these things can add up. And there are a lot of people who think, I can't afford this. How can the Aluminum Company make it easier?
Yeah, well, Adam, we have plans that are 12 months, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 12 months, which make it super affordable for people to do anything on their home, whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, gutters, any kind of exterior home improvement. The Aluminum Company has financing plans that can fit in your budget and make it easy.
So wait a second. I can get everything done, no interest, and no payments for 12 months?
Yeah, and you get a lifetime warranty once the project's done.
I get a lifetime warranty once the project is done?
Yes, sir.
What about my down payment?
No down payment, no
What?
deposit.
No down payment, no deposit.
No payment until the project's done.
No payment till the project's done.
Exactly.
Where do I sign up? Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The NFL is in a let me think of how I want to describe this. The NFL is in a information-thirsty part of the calendar right now. Every fan base wants to make big, sweeping declarations about every rookie based on like 2 one-on-one reps. Right? If you're a defensive back and you guarded the team's number 1 wide receiver and they didn't make the catch, no matter how bad the throw was, that defensive back, stud, steal of the draft. Gosh forbid a 5th-round wide receiver makes a one-handed catch in practice, because you're going to get the entire fan base to buy his jersey off of that one-handed catch.
Should have been a starter right from day one.
I had him as a first-round pick. I had him as a first-round pick the whole time. Couldn't believe he fell to the 5th. We're so lucky. Just it's like football is here, but in a lot of ways it's not. So fans are gonna make their conversations wherever they can, and some of it, I'm gonna be real, it's fool's gold, right? The information is nothing. Some of it is real though. Right? Looking back through history, there's the example I always use is Victor Cruz for the Giants against the Rex Ryan Jets. Victor Cruz caught 3 touchdowns. This was before wide receivers were allowed to wear single digits, but they gave him a single digit in preseason because they're like, you're not making the team anyway, so just give us number 3 back before the regular season, and who cares? He caught 3 touchdowns, and everyone was like, what a opportunity, what a memory for that guy. Then he turned into Victor Cruz, and he had like 1,600 yards in this season. And it was like, no, turns out those one-handed catches mattered. So there's some of those, right? There's some of those. One thing that I do think matters, because I think coaches know that it matters to the players, is when a team puts out official depth charts, right? Not, there's some websites online, Our Lads is one of them, where they kind of predict depth charts for every team of every sport, and they do a decent job of it, right? They who's taking reps, they move it around. But then there's a team-produced depth chart, right? And it comes out a couple days before a preseason game, a couple days before a real game, and those depth charts, I'm not saying they're always accurate, but I think they're always intentional. I think coaches know depth charts are something that athletes are programmed to care about, right? We're programmed as athletes to look and see a hierarchy, a list, and go, I want to be first. Coaches always try to give you the spiel, right? You'd much rather be closing the game than starting the game, right? This is just where we're gonna begin, but nothing's set in stone. Nothing's written in Sharpie. And you hear every athlete in the back, I still want to be on the top of that list. I still want to be on the I don't care if I get the third downs. I want to be on the top. I want to be every down. So it's motivational, it's insightful, and I think it's in a lot of ways a way to communicate to the players, because as soon as you put something out public through the official team channels, it matters. The Panthers put out their first team depth chart, which they have to do because they're playing in a game here on Thursday. Now, it's not who's going to be playing in games, who's going to be playing in this Thursday's game, because, well, the starters aren't playing in Thursday's game. But it is at least a loose and intentional setting. Now, I'm not going to read you them all because, surprise, Bryce Young starting at quarterback. We all know that. There are a few takeaways, though. For example, Bobby Brown over Lee Hunter next to Derek Brown, who we all know, in the interior of the defensive line. That one's a little interesting. It's Derek Brown, Cam Jackson, and Bobby Brown III as the first-string defensive line. The reason why I think Bobby Brown over Lee Hunter is interesting is because, well, first of all, Lee Hunter is one of those guys that, like, I want to figure out what's wrong with him because everybody just keeps telling me how awesome he is, right? There's no way he's as perfect as everybody's talking about. He is a gigantic dude that apparently swallows up the run game like nobody's business. Him being on the second string this early doesn't really matter except for this. Ejiro Evero has frustrated me in the past not playing rookies seemingly just because they're rookies. Last year, it took a while to get even the trustworthy ones out there on the field. So if we have to deal with that again with Lee Hunter, I am going to be mighty frustrated because using a second-round pick on a guy means you have to expect him to play.
Let's not forget they had to cut DJ Johnson in order for him to play Nick Scorton and to play Princely Umamielen.
I kind of believe the front office did that as like a, now you have to play him.
Yeah, I think for real.
So seeing Lee Hunter on the second string, if it were a traditional defensive coordinator who played their youngsters normally, I would go, all right, that's fine. He's just trying to motivate the guy, right? Trying to make him earn his spot. But because it's Evero, I'm going like, he better not be doing the thing with the rookies again. No designated nickel in their first depth chart is interesting to me because they play with quite a bit of nickel. You might even call it their base. So I'm going through this operating as if Corey Thornton is their number one nickel, and probably Shaw Smith-Wade might be a backup at a few different spots, but definitely at that nickel spot. So I'm not treating Corey Thornton as if he's a backup corner. I'm treating him as if he is the starting nickel. That's just another observation here. This has been a concern for us, but seeing it on paper made it a more aggressive concern for me. Off-ball linebacker, even with Devin Lloyd, still just reads names of like, goodness, I hope they don't get hurt, and I hope Trevin Wallace steps up. Right now, the starting two off-ball backers are Devin Lloyd and Trevin Wallace. Then you get quickly to Bam Martin-Scott and Claudin Cherilus as the second stringers. Then late-round pick Jackson Kuach and Maima Gongmeta. perhaps. If I mispronounce that, I apologize.
Who played a lot in like special teams role and stuff. He's actually been a vet in the NFL for a little bit.
Bam Martin Scott has played some special teams. Claude and Chairless. These are guys that have been around the NFL, but they're also not ones that I want like being one step away from playing most downs at off-ball backer, right? Like all of these guys at times have been the depth in the Panthers system, like third stringers. And I just look at that off-ball backer spot and I get very nervous of the depth there. Maybe even more so than other positions. And there's a lack of depth at quite a few. Dennis, anything stand out to you about this depth chart?
Nothing really stands out to me in any way, shape, or form. I think to me, when it comes to Lee Hunter, I think it's just he's a rookie. The only reason why Monroe Freeling is in a starting spot right now is due to blood clots with Taylor Moton. That's really it. I think that's to me the upside there with Lee Hunter. Like he's gonna play.
Yeah, the only worry is like Nick Scorton being second string last year at this time. I probably would have been saying the same thing. Like, oh, he's a second round pick. He's gonna play a bunch, and then he didn't really for a while. So I'm trying not to be falling for the same trick over and over again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. You ain't gonna fool me again. That's what I'm trying to do here. Again, if it were a different defensive coordinator, I would see Lee Hunter. I would see any rookie on second or third string and just go, they're doing the thing where they're making them work their way up. Nothing earned or nothing given, everything earned. We could also go into Pat Jones starting over Princely McMillan at outside backer, but
not shocked by that.
Pat Jones, super veteran. Actually is decently high paid for what he is. He was just hurt last year, so you don't think of him that often. Uman Mielen behind Jalen Phillips is fine with me. And this isn't a reaction to the depth chart, but it's something that was on the depth chart that made me go, yep, I think people thought that competition was closer than it was. Luke Fortner at center over Sam Hecht. I know there was a group that was hoping Sam Hecht kind of pushed for that starting spot. It appears as if Fortner is more established than maybe those original opinions. Obviously, an injury or a downslope in play or whatever can change all of that. But I think it's more Luke Fortner's the center, Sam Hecht is the backup center, than it is any kind of a competition. Just seems like a gap there. But again, that's not the depth chart. That's more of an observation from everything that's happened at camp and all the reps and how they've been divided up. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's a little Panthers depth chart talk, which is exciting because that means they have a game in 2 days. It's on Thursday. And an update for the Panthers defense. They'll be facing Carson Beck. The Cardinals have made it known that Carson Beck will be the starting quarterback. So no Jacoby Brissett out there for that one. And do they have Gardner Minshew out there too? I think they might.
They might.
So the Cardinals will be rolling out the rookie with a third-round pick, Carson Beck.
I see a lot of high throws coming.
I was just going to say.
I see a lot of high throws coming.
There's probably an opportunity to get your hands on the ball.
I'm about to say, if I'm Zakee Wheatley, the rookie safety out of Penn State, I'm sitting up there just waiting for that overthrow. Waiting for that overthrow.
By the way, I was right. They have Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, Carson Beck, and Kadon Slovis, who finished his career, I believe, at Pitt after being at USC.
Okay, yeah.
So I imagine it'll be the Beck and Slovis show. Don't need to see the veterans in a Hall of Fame game, which is an opportunity, once again, for the youngsters on the defense for the Panthers. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending, no-cost loan, synonymous. They are the home of the no-cost loan. Gordon Miller's been doing it for decades. Miller Lending has been doing it since they showed up here in the Triangle decades ago, and they've really put down roots. They are a locally owned business. When you call, you're talking to someone in the Triangle. I mentioned that just to say they know the market. Right, they know if housing numbers are going up or down, or what the importance for urgency is based on the market because they're living in it. And then also they understand how a no-cost loan can keep those closing costs that check in your pocket and perhaps help you boost up a house, right? If you're buying one that has a few things you want to change, well, there you go. Keep those closing costs right there and head over to the home improvement store. Miller Lending wants to help you out. Give them a call. Ask them how they can help you out. The number, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that is millerlending.com. Miller Lending is the equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's Dean's List time here on The Drive.
Yeah, Can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first, then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. That's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Right now at Circle K, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew and get another for just $1. Do the Dew at Circle K today.
You've got rhythm. Your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together?
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Little nostalgia right there. This brings me right back to high school. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We don't have, actually, I don't know popular music. I was going to say, we don't have enough popular music where there is like a line dance applied to it. And at a high school dance, everybody knows, like, hey, we're just doing the dance. We're going to kick our feet. We're going to do the Superman. We're going to do the whole thing. Do they have that now? Like a cooler version of the cha-cha slide, right? No? All right. I don't know enough about modern music. I'm very much stuck in like 2009.
That's fair.
I want to listen to the Carter 3 by Lil Wayne at any point in time. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is not only am I that's stuck in high school years, but perhaps stuck in college years. Or at least I love college sports so much that I'm still paying a ton of attention to it, like so many are in this area. And that's why we run the Dean's List. Passing on some extra praise, a few extra accolades to those that deserve it in the college sports world. Speaking of, we do have some auto bids. We have some auto entries into the Dean's List for today. For those of you that are unaware, we do have certain rules, meaning if you make a preseason award watch list and you're from one of the schools that we cover, you are automatically put on the Dean's List for that day. And we do have a few of those. For example, I am currently looking at the 2026 Women's Soccer Preseason Coaches Poll and All ACC team. So the ACC has put out their Coaches Poll and All ACC team. Duke is picked to finish third, behind Notre Dame and Stanford. UNC is picked to finish fifth. Wake Forest 7th. NC State 11th in the 17-team ACC. But on the All-ACC team, preseason All-ACC team, these players are all on the Dean's List for the day. Mia Minestrella from Duke. Cameron Roller from Duke. That is a great soccer name. Cameron Roller. Cam Roller. It's fantastic. Bella Devi from North Carolina. Kylie Maxwell from Wake Forest. And that's it for teams from the state of North Carolina. But they are all preseason All-ACC members. So congratulations to them. They are also on the Dean's List. I also have in front of me the same list for volleyball. We have the coaches poll and all ACC team announced for women's volleyball. As far as the finish goes, Carolina's picked to finish 5th. NC State's picked to finish 9th. Wake Forest 10th. And Duke 16th in the 18-team ACC. All ACC members include Safi Hampton from North Carolina, Chelsea Thorpe from North Carolina. And that's it for the teams that we cover. That would be auto bids. But they are all automatically on the Dean's List for being all ACC preseason selections. Congratulations to all of them. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers you would like to throw out here?
Your guy, Melkart Abujade from UNC. Did you have him on your Dean's
Another
list?
auto.
Yeah,
Gotta
another
put him on
auto.
there.
Bronco Nagurski Trophy preseason watch list.
That is the nation's top defender. There are position-specific watch lists that we're going to get over time, but this is the best defensive player in the country. Melkart Abujade. Sure, he is currently a member of the North Carolina Tar Heels, but he was found by the Delaware coaching staff working in a bagel shop. They said, "Why are you working in a bagel shop? You're gigantic and you're an edge rusher. Let's get you on campus." Then he took all that goodwill and went to Carolina. But he did lead, of all the players returning to the ACC this year, he had the most sacks last year. So
at 10.5,
that's pretty darn good. He talked about consistency at ACC kickoff, play to play. I actually think it's almost game to game for him. He had a couple multi-sack games that really buoyed his sack total. If he can get that kind of pressure game in and game out, 10.5 might be low.
Imagine if UNC had a competent offense this season, and it's actually like, oh, the other team isn't just running the ball 40 times because they're up by 15.
They didn't have to stop running plays
25.
in the backfield on first and second down to get to 3rd and 15 to have an idea that they were going to throw it.
Yeah.
Got to get those holding calls on the first down just to put them in passing downs.
Exactly.
Still, he is, and the Nagurski Award would be the watch list, would be an auto entry. So there's nobody from Duke State or Wake Forest on that list. It's just Melkart Abujade from the teams that we cover, which I was surprised by. It seems like there should be, usually are a few with some hype going into the season, but this year not so much. More Dean's List. How about A.J. Williams? A.J. Williams, the number 1 overall basketball recruit, up until now considered the number 1 overall recruit in the class of 2028, is reclassifying to the class of 2027 per multiple reports. The 6'7", wait, let me get this right. The class of 2028 would be the rising junior class, right? Getting ready to start his junior year.
That's correct.
And he is now reclassifying to the class of 2027, so he's moving up to the rising senior class.
That's right. Kind of like Cooper Flagg.
Mm-hmm. AJ Devonte did it, I believe. Either way, the 6'7" wing. So he was 6'7", rising into what should have been his junior year. I can see why he might think he can advance. But he already holds multiple high major offers, including Duke, Carolina, Kansas, amongst many, many others.
UConn, Georgia Tech.
Do you know what's really funny about, maybe not really funny, but do you know what is impressive about that? I'm constantly hearing, and then part of it is because I'm getting ready to go into the youth sports thing with my son, constantly hearing about all these players being held back, and they're taking extra 8th grade years, or their parents are starting them late at kindergarten, so they'll be older in high school. To reclassify up and still be one of the best players in that class is pretty darn insane. So credit to A.J. Williams for just being that impressive. I have his full list here just so we're not missing anybody. ESPN is reporting that he is currently considering 9 schools. The schools are Duke, Carolina, Auburn, BYU, UConn, Georgia, Illinois, Georgia Tech, and Mississippi State. And he has not set up official visits yet, but he does plan on setting them up this fall. That's pretty good. So he's on the Dean's List. Hopefully he chooses one of the teams in our area. And then lastly for the Dean's List, I had it somewhere in my notes yesterday and I missed it. I'm putting Michael Brennan, former Wake Forest golfer, on the Dean's List. Not because he won this weekend, because he didn't, but because it was the Rocket Classic PGA Tour event. but because he learned. You got to compete on a Sunday. He was actually at the top of the leaderboard after, I think it was 2 under through 3 on Sunday. So he saw his name at the top of a leaderboard on a not alternate event, PGA Tour event. And then he kind of imploded, lost the lead with a double bogey on the par 4 7th, recorded 3 over 73 in the final round, finished in a tie for 15th. But I do think it's kind of like, the teams that have to make the playoffs and get smoked by a veteran team to just learn what it takes to win in the playoffs. You got to compete on a Sunday. You got to be in the mix. You got to be at the top of the leaderboard just to feel it a few times. And then, once you break through, you break the seal, you can go win a whole bunch. So former Wake Forest golfer Michael Brennan, he's on the Dean's list for the lessons learned. Now he's got to go. 2028 is whenever you really want to be in the top 100 golfers in the world, because they're going to split up the tour, do the whole thing with the Champions Series and the Challenger Series. So he's dead set on that. And that will do it for the Dean's List here on The Drive. Let's go ahead and dismiss. And I want to remind you that you can visit 999thefan.com as well as the 999 The Fan app to enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Tim McGraw at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on August 7th. Tim McGraw, country music superstar, a legend, coming through the area, and you can win tickets if you head to 999thefan.com, just a website, anywhere you access your websites, or download the 999 The Fan app, Google Play and App Store, free to download. We would appreciate a 5-star rating, but there's a whole bunch more giveaways that come on that app. So just do it now, 999 The Fan, and you'll know where to win stuff. Tim McGraw, Coastal Credit Union Music Park, August 7th. Before we move on, and we talked about changing play callers, it's a big story for the Carolina Panthers, also a big story for the Carolina Tar Heels. We'll talk about their new play caller, but first, Dennis has a message for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers. If you're ever in a situation of dire need, you want to be able to rely on people that you trust. And if you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, and this is something I keep in mind as a motorcycle rider myself, if you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, the people that you can trust is Law Tigers. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit them, lawtigers.com. And here's the reason why you could trust them, is because the Law Tigers was built 25 years ago by people in the motorcycle riding community for motorcycle riders. So, and there's ever a situation where you're involved in an accident, you get in touch with Law Tigers first, even before you get in touch with the insurance company, because, again, part of the motorcycle riding community, the Law Tigers attorneys, they know what your bike is worth, they know what your gear is worth, but also they understand the dangers of the road. That's why your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you get in touch with the insurance company, because let's be honest, insurance companies want to give you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are there to fight for you. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, puts the Carolina Tar Heels' new offensive coordinator and play caller right in our crosshairs. Coming up.
Experience legendary craftsmanship with an Omega timepiece. From the iconic Speedmaster that journeyed to the moon to the sleek Seamaster made famous by the world's most stylish spy, Omega watches are built for precision, adventure, and timeless elegance. At Bailey's Fine Jewelry in Raleigh's Village District, explore a curated selection of Omega timepieces that speak to your legacy. Whether you're starting a collection or adding your next chapter, find your perfect fit at Bailey's, voted best jeweler. Visit BaileyBox.com to learn more.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Refuel and get 25 cents off per gallon when you buy 2 20-ounce Pepsi Zero Sugars with Refuel Rewards.
Summer in Raleigh just got hotter. Tim McGraw, the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour. Get lost in the songs you love to sing. With special guests, 49 Winchester. Get ready for a summer show you don't want to miss. Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Friday, August 7th. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Mattress Warehouse concert series.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite too. Extra value meals are back.
Now, save on what you crave. Get a 10-piece chicken McNuggets, medium fries, and medium Coke for just $8. That's one unbeatable deal. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, everybody. First of all, you mad about something? I feel like you're trying to get something off your chest.
No. Not at all.
Before we talk a little Carolina Tar Heels football, a bad news for a athlete from the state of North Carolina. Jalen Walker, edge rusher for the Falcons, who many wanted the Panthers to draft when they took Tetairoa McMillan.
I'll throw my name in. I was one of those people.
And actually, he did flash his rookie year last year. So not saying like, oh, dummies, you wanted the good edge rusher. Not saying that at all. Very versatile player. But the Panthers aren't the only team suffering injuries. I'll read directly from Ian Rappaport, NFL insider for NFL Network and ESPN. Falcons promising edge Jalen Walker is feared to have torn his ACL, per Rappaport. A potential brutal injury for the defense. He will have an MRI to confirm the injury from practice today, which drew an emotional reaction from his team. Obviously, there's a reason why Ian Rappaport worded it that way, right? They're going to have the tests and everything. Anecdotally, from my experience covering, playing, watching football, trainers are unbelievably good at predicting ACL tears on the field. They call it a loose something, and if they if they do the tests for the ACL, they walk over to the coach and say it's loose. Coaches' faces drop. It's very rare that they think it's a torn ACL, and it's not. That's not to say it never happens, so, hope for the best. But that's not great news for Jalen Walker. And again, like I said, he's a guy from North Carolina, very proud of his North Carolina upbringing. Did play for Georgia in college, but that's a bummer.
Yeah, from just outside Charlotte, Salisbury, North Carolina.
So, yes, the Panthers lost Nick Scorton. They're not the only team losing young edge rushers potentially for the season. It's about how much depth you have and why it hits that much. There you go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's look at the Carolina Tar Heels. The Carolina Panthers are changing their play caller. They're not changing their offensive coordinator. They're not changing their offensive designer. They're changing their offensive play caller, and we give that one of the biggest changes of the offseason hype. The Carolina Tar Heels, rightfully so, by the way, are changing a lot more than that, okay? They were 129th out of 134 teams in FBS in total offense last year. 129th out of 134. And you can look at other metrics. It doesn't get much better. 118th in scoring offense, 115th in red zone offense efficiency. Changes needed to happen. Freddie Kitchens was the offensive coordinator. He was fired. The team's top two quarterbacks, Gio Lopez and Max Johnson, who took nearly every single snap at quarterback, were both lost in the transfer portal. Gio went to Wake Forest, Max Johnson to Georgia Southern. Even touted freshman Bryce Baker, who didn't play, but did bring in a considerable amount of hype out of the recruiting trail, he did hit the transfer portal. He's now on Virginia Tech's roster. So they kind of cleaned house. Not everybody, right? Some offensive linemen stuck around. Jordan Shipp stuck around. Damon June, the running back, stuck around. But a nearly full changeover. And their play designer, their offensive coordinator, and play caller is now Bobby Petrino. Now, Bobby Petrino, I think how good of a coach you think he is, probably like it's decided by when you got to know Bobby Petrino. This will be his 10th stop as an offensive coordinator. He's also been a head coach at times. He's been, I have him written down here, head coaching stops at Louisville, Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and Missouri State, as well as the Atlanta Falcons. And then 10 stops as an offensive coordinator. The thing that I like the most about, two things that I like the most about Bobby Petrino, because I think there's a lot of talk about him off the field. Right, he's gotten himself into some scandals. He's left teams in the middle of the season. He's done some strange things as far as like socially or professionally. As a coach, though, there's two things that I would be excited by if I were a Carolina Tar Heels diehard fan. The first is he's had a lot of success in college. Right, the Carolina Tar Heels have brought in. When they brought in Bill Belichick, a wealth of NFL knowledge, but they didn't bring in a ton of college success. So he understands, the very basics, right? How much can a 20-year-old who's going to class and dealing with social dynamics consume in a week? How much customization can you put into your plan each week? Right? How many times do you have to reinstall? There's a quote going around now that he's saying he's installed his offense 4 times. And if you install an offense 3 times, even to a college kid, they better know it, right? So he just keeps hammering it home. He's had success in college. And then secondly, he doesn't have a system, right? It's not, hey, I need you to do exactly what I do. Maybe the best way to describe this is if you look at 2 of his best college offenses, one of them ended with Lamar Jackson at Louisville winning the Heisman Trophy, right? So Lamar Jackson was running for like 1,400 yards, throwing for 2,000-something yards, touchdowns all over the place, hurdling people, spinning, like running quarterback stuff. He was right there with it. Another one of his best offenses came from when he was at Arkansas, where he had Ryan Mallett as his quarterback, and he was leading the SEC in a bunch of passing categories. Now, Ryan Mallett, who has since passed away, so tragedy and all of that, but during his playing career, he was a statue, right? He's like 6'8". He stands there and he throws the football, right?
Dude, an arm.
An absolute cannon,
yeah.
but not like he was at Michigan as a freshman, played well, and left when Rich Rod took over because he was like, oh, he's probably going to ask the quarterback to run. And I don't do that, right? So he goes to Arkansas, pairs up with Petrino, leads the SEC in a bunch of passing categories. I love that for an offensive play caller and an offensive mind. To be able to go, I have this Ferrari of Lamar Jackson, I'm going to use that in the best way I know how. Or I have this gigantic tank with a cannon attached to it and Ryan Mallett, and I know how to make that work, right? It's not I have to go out and recruit to my system. I can just go recruit the best players and then form my system around them. The concern would be this, and I have a quote here directly from Bobby Petrino. It was pushed out there by the school. When I got here, I wasn't looking to run my offense. We have really good coaches on offense, guys with great experience. We've got a head coach with 6 Super Bowls, so we wanted to put together the North Carolina offense. I like to get input from everybody. We're starting to mold it together as our offense. If you were around the offense last year, I'm not sure I want Bobby Petrino asking you. I think I want him teaching you. I think I want him saying, this is what we're going to do. We need to teach this as a group to the players, but I'm going to be the one. This is not a collaborative event. This is an offensive dictatorship. And Bobby Petrino is the one, again, football-wise, he's a very impressive mind on the field schematically. Bill Belichick was around last year. The defense got better progressively throughout the year for Carolina. That makes sense. He knows defensive football. The offense really didn't.
No.
They shuffled some things around, window dressing, but nothing really changed in the effectiveness of the offense. For that reason, I want Bobby Petrino being the the lead voice. I don't want him trying to put together a North Carolina offense. I want him to decide what's the best Bobby Petrino offense for North Carolina and having them run it.
Hey, we got 60 new guys this year? Perfect. We're all on the same page.
Great.
I'm going to teach everyone at the same time.
I don't have to unteach you anything from last season. And I think that goes all the way down to picking the quarterback, right? Miles O'Neill got the first team reps at the start of the first practice that was open to the media. Billy Edwards Jr. comes in with a certain amount of experience. Some of the younger guys, whether it's Newkirk or Burgess, might have a little bit more exciting physical skill set, but they're young and inexperienced. I don't necessarily want it to be I like with the Canes, I always call it the Knights of the Decision-Making Roundtable. Like, I don't know if I want that. I kind of want Bobby Petrino in a dark room with a film projector watching practice and watching the tape he has of Miles O'Neill at Texas A&M and Billy Edwards at Maryland and all of these other places, and I kind of want him to decide. Right? There's a cooks in the kitchen saying about all of this, right? It's don't be too deferential. I want Petrino to show up arrogant, right? Like, hey, I know how to make offenses work in college. Watch me do this, right? Kind of like step aside and let the master work. That's what I'm looking for. And I don't think, based on, his reputation and everything, that's outside of his character, right? Petrino knows what he knows. Right? Being a 10th time being an offensive coordinator, that tells me a few things. One, you're good at it because people keep giving you a chance. And two, you might wear yourself thin a little bit with how you interact because 10 times it's ended for one reason or another. So I kind of want to give him like the Ted Lasso thing when they had to tell Jamie Tart to be a bleep. Like, sometimes you got to go out there and score and not worry about your teammates. I kind of want him to say, this is an offense by Bobby Petrino. Like when a director becomes real high on their own stuff and they start putting in the credits a film by Quentin Tarantino, right? A Christopher Nolan masterpiece. Like I kind of want him to put in his playbook, like this is an offense by Bobby Petrino, not this is a North Carolina offense that we've all contributed to. It's like, well, some of these guys have contributed to some movies that I don't want to watch. So let's go back to what you do. That got Lamar a Heisman and got Ryan Mallett ridiculous stats. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are nearing football at 4, so get ready. We're talking wide receivers. Next.
With over $110 million in total prizes, new scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are dazzling the crowd. Get quick wins from Hit 50, Cash, Loteria Grande, and The Star. Massive cash blowout, bursting with $150, $300, and $3,000 prizes. Play and watch your luck shine. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.86 to 9.37. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A little bit cooler this afternoon with the clouds and the rain around. Our high temperatures will climb into the upper 80s. Some of the storms this afternoon will produce some heavy downpours, so be on the lookout for ponding on the roads and some isolated flooding. 72 with storms ending tonight, but they do redevelop tomorrow afternoon and evening. Tomorrow, a little warmer with a high of 88.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 958 points to 54,136.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for Football at 4. Brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. So first of all, I planned from this morning, because it was inspired by my doom scrolling last night. I planned from this morning to talk about Xavier Legette today. The reason why is because he looks good in clips. He runs fast. He's big. 1-on-1, 7-on-7s. He's looked good. He's made some plays. And with Chris Brazzell being out for the year, I think a portion of the fan base, maybe even a portion of the media, is like forcing Xavier, like, you know, kind of your mind's eye sees what it wants to see. So you're going, I don't know, he looks different this year. He looks better. Maybe he's finally put it all together. Maybe he, dropping that 12 pounds or whatever it was, that's the key. He's back to being the guy that they hoped he would be. But then today, he doesn't finish practice, and I'm already going like, oh no, we're going to have to change this whole thing. We're going to have to make it the John Mechie hour. But as you'll hear in this clip we're about to play for you from Dave Canales, there is an update on the injury that kept Xavier Legette out of the end of practice, and for the most part, it's good news.
Made a really nice play, high-pointed it. Cam Miller's in great position, came down really hard, went in, evaluated him, cleared him of concussion, but it looks like a stinger, so we're going to evaluate him more over the next day or so and just make sure that, he's in the right spot. So we have a nice little window here. He wouldn't be playing in this game, but we have a nice little window to get him turned around and just see where he's at. No concussions? No, they cleared him for that.
So there you go, right? It appears like they dodged the worst of it. They were just being precautious, and they have a little bit of time here with the Hall of Fame game, which he won't be participating in. So they're going to make sure he's all good. I thought long and hard about how I was going to phrase this. So this is the best I have here for Xavier Legette and where I stand with him. I'm not buying stock, but I am optimistic. Okay? And I think you have to be. He's going to be given opportunities. He's going, like when there's 3 or 4 wide receiver sets, I don't see how he's not on the field based on what they need out of that third wide receiver, right? He's now the only guy in that room with the sub 4.40 that has any kind of experience or size. That's kind of what you need that third to be if you have Tetairoa, McMillan, and Jalen Coker out there. That's why I believe Chris Brazzell was drafted. Now that he's out, I think Xavier Legette's going to have the opportunity. So the optimism partially stems from, we're going to find out. Let's see what he's got. There's no point in going in super pessimistic. I also think there is a big difference between being the hoped-for number 2 wide receiver or even number 1 wide receiver of the future and being the assumed number 3 wide receiver tops, right? Even last year, remember going into the season, Jalen Coker, who had some buzz, was put on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, so you knew he was out for the first 6 weeks. And Xavier Legette, once again, it's like, can he be the number 2? That's pressure. The assumed number 3, can you make a play here and there? Right? Can you beat your guy here and there? Can you be a decoy a decent amount? That's a different kind of expectation. And then here's the other thing. I went and did some very loose digging into his stats from college. South Carolina. I have his catches by year in college. And he kind of played 5 years because he had the redshirt year early in his career. First year, 9 catches. Next year, 7. Next year, 8. Next year, 18. Final year, 71. Yards by year in college. First year, 80. Next year, 113. Next year, 63. Next year, 167. Final year, 1,255. One more for you. Touchdowns by year in college. First year, 1. Next year, 0. Next year, 1. Next year, 3. Final year, 7. He essentially had significantly better than every year combined in his first 4 in just his 5th year, and that's the year that got the Panthers to draft him. Now, I'm not saying you have to wait until year 5 to decide whether he's going to break out or not, right? Like, he's on the same schedule. He's not supposed to make catches until year 5. But if you want to, I often do this, like squint with one eye, close the other, and say it kind of looks the same. His 5th year was his 3rd year with Shane Beamer running the show in South Carolina, with Shane Beamer as the head coach and kind of mind behind that team and that coaching staff and that system. Perhaps it's about time he breaks out. Because his college career, here's the reason why I'm saying it's optimistic that he could be like a late breakout guy. His college career doesn't prove that he's going to work in the NFL, doesn't prove that he's going to have 1,200 yards this year, doesn't prove any of that, but it does prove he's a guy where things click, right? It doesn't come together slowly, or it doesn't have to come together slowly for him, right? It does. The slow rise you see a lot. Right, guy has 10 catches his freshman year, then 25 his sophomore year, then 60 his junior year, then he has the breakout crazy senior year. He doesn't need that. He can go from almost nothing to almost nothing to almost nothing to almost nothing to one of the best wide receivers in the country, because that's what he did. So there's the optimism there. He's going to continue to get chances, maybe by design, maybe by injury, and maybe it'll click. Now, as I said at the beginning, I'm not buying stock, right? I'm not predicting all of this is going to happen, but I don't think it's a completely 0% chance, right? There's Dumb and Dumber, right? So you're telling me there's a chance. Yeah, I'm telling you there's a chance. And if it clicks, it'll be really exciting. If it doesn't, it's your wide receiver 3. Have him keep running all those sacrifice deep balls just to bring somebody with him to get T-Mac and Coker and the tight ends open. Like, there's always that. I will continue to tell him, if I were his friend, what I've been saying I would tell him all offseason, which is mix in a couple special teams drills, right? Learn to tackle. Don't be afraid to run down on punt. Ask for those opportunities. That's what's going to guarantee you a spot in this league for years and years. But if the opportunity arises and you want to make something of yourself as a wide receiver, the chances are going to be there. So Xavier Legette, yeah, he looks good in a clip during camp. He's always been a looks good guy, right? He's always looked good in pads. He's always been fast. He's always done that when healthy. And it's happening again. Don't be Charlie Brown trying to kick the ball with Lucy, right? Don't expect it to happen, but you can always hope it's going to happen, especially for someone who you know is going to get a chance. The opposite side of that is, like, I'm sitting here going like, don't expect it for Xavier Legette. The flip side of that, looking at the wide receiver room, is expect it for Tetairoa McMillan. Exactly. The dollar figures that are coming in for the wide receivers this year are crazy. And it's going to sound like I'm making a similar point to what I had made when Chris Olave signed his contract or when so many of these other wide receivers signed their extensions. But the reason why it's not the same is because the contracts keep getting a little more and a little more and a little more crazy. Baltimore's Zay Flowers, who is a 2-time Pro Bowler, but I don't know, top 10 wide receiver, I think would be pushing it. has agreed to a contract extension with the Ravens, 4 years, $140 million.
What?
Per his agency Win Sports Group. That is $108 million guaranteed. Now, there's two ways to look at this. First of all, $35 million per year, right? New money. 4 years, $140 million. Divide that, it becomes $35 million. That puts him as the fourth highest paid wide receiver per year in the NFL right now on new money on extensions. Jackson Smith and Jigba 1, Jamar Chase 2, Drake London 3, Zay Flowers 4, tied with Justin Jefferson. That's not to say he's as good as those wide receivers. It's to say the market has gone up that much in between them signing their deals and him signing his deal. CeeDee Lamb just below them in sixth. In guaranteed money, no wide receiver has ever signed a contract with more guaranteed money than Zay Flowers. $108 million is the most a wide receiver has ever been guaranteed when they sign a contract. Expect Tetairoa McMillan to be at least as good as Zay Flowers over the next couple of years before you sign his contract. Okay? At least. And that's not to say like, oh, he's not good, right? He's had a good amount of catches, 70s, 80s. He's been over 1,000 yards each of the last 2 years, has not caught many touchdowns, had career high 5 in a season. Like, at least it is a appropriate floor to say Tetairoa McMillan will be Zay Flowers after 3 years. Which means you should absolutely expect to have to break the bank for Tetairoa McMillan. Now, you have 2 years to make sure, but expect it, right? If the wheels fall off of Tetairoa McMillan, fine, right? Then you can adjust lower. It's always easier to have the money and not need to give it to a guy than to not have the money and need to come up with it. So make sure 2 years from now, I mean, this is not an exaggeration, you have $40 million a year to give to Tetairoa McMillan, at least. And what, if $108 million is Zay Flowers now, Tetairoa McMillan in 2 years have at least $130 million guaranteed for Tetairoa McMillan?
Yeah, if he keeps going on the trajectory that he's going right now, absolutely.
So this is not a like, oh, hope for the best. No, it's expect the best. Because if not, you're going to have to put yourself in a real bad cap spot in order to pay Tetairoa McMillan. Or you're going to have to maybe go into that offseason needing a defensive lineman, a corner, and you have to pay Tetairoa McMillan, and then you have to go, well, we're not getting the defensive lineman or the corner because we're going to pay Tetairoa McMillan. And you can't be taking money out of your right pocket and putting it in your left pocket like that when you need to field an entire team in the NFL.
Better draft really, really well.
Better draft really, really well. And little things like the Jalen Coker contract, kind of maybe paying a little bit before it's fully proven and getting that just slight 2 or 3 years of below market value. Because if Jalen Coker goes and has 800-plus yards this year, he's going to look like a steal, right? He's going to look like, all right, that contract, which you paid maybe a little early, is now really, really valuable. And some of that cash, right, you can pay other guys early, so then the cap hit isn't as bad when you got to pay Tetairoa McMillan. The next group, whoever it is, Puka, if Malik Neighbors has a really big bounce back year, the next group, which includes Tetairoa McMillan in my mind, you're almost going to have to plan for them like you have to plan for a quarterback. Like, hopefully you paid all your guys when they were on their rookie contract because now you got a wide receiver contract coming your way and all that money is going to be swallowed up. They're going to have to think about it like you think about quarterbacks. Now, I wouldn't plan for that for Xavier Legette. That's still probably a long shot. It is a long shot. But for Tetairoa McMillan, if you have to play real hardball or wait a year till you can pay Tetairoa McMillan, that's just poor planning, right? If after his third year, it's obvious he's your guy and you can't get him to an extension, you got to wait till after his fourth year when you pick up the fifth year and you got to make it contentious, that's poor planning because it's obvious right now wide receivers that I would say aren't even as good as Tetairoa McMillan are going to be breaking the bank. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is Football at 4, brought to you by John Heister, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get off your keister and come to Heister. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, where they have a Seiko event coming up 6 days from now on the 10th of September. Seiko is one of the most respected names in watchmaking. The craftsmanship, the value, it's all there. And on the 10th, Bailey's and the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, which is located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh, is bringing in an expanded Seiko inventory exclusively for this event. There'll be complimentary sushi and sake while browsing the collection. And whether you're looking or trying to buy your first quality watch or a first quality luxury watch for a friend or someone special in your life, Seiko has something for every budget. The event is free and open for everyone, no invitation required. So swing by Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh on September 10th. And make sure they know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we will talk to a local, meaning a high school and youth basketball legend from the area who made it all the way to the NBA, and we'll play a game of Copper Drop. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
It's disgusting. It's annoying. If a billionaire tells you, hey, I just bought another yacht, are you like, wow, amazing, way to go? You're like, cool, rub it in. I don't have air conditioning. I don't think this is fun for other fans around Major League Baseball. The Dodgers can get anybody they want, and the worst part about this is a lockout is all but signed, sealed, delivered.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm Sam, owner of Marino's Landscape. With my Chase Inc. Business Premier Card, I earn unlimited 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more. So everything I buy to run my landscaping business gives me cash back to help throw a big thank you party for my team. For all they do.
Chase Inc. Cashback built for every business. Find the right card at chase.com/inc. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in-store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, everybody. Speaking of, I just did that whole rant about how after watching Zay Flowers get paid, that the Panthers should be prepared to pay Tetairoa McMillan. I mean, I know he hasn't played at all, but I guess you got to get ready to pay Monroe Freeling as well. The Bears and all-pro offensive tackle Darnell Wright have agreed to terms on, in Ian Rappaport's words, a fat new deal to make him one of the NFL's highest paid, per both Rappaport and Jeremy Fowler. 4 years, $116 million.
Woo.
93 of that guaranteed.
So 4 years, 116. So we're talking $39 million a year.
Let's see here. 29.
I'm sorry, 29. My apologies. Math off on that. $29 million a year.
93 of it guaranteed. If I'm not mistaken, Darnell Wright, was he taken with one of the picks from the Bryce Young trade?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
I don't think so.
I thought for a second he was. I was like, did they get another All-Pro? Either way, if you draft premium positions, the reason why you do it is because those rookie contracts are, as I often call them, rent control. You get those premium position players for a discount, right? When others in the NFL have to pay $29, $30 plus million for their number one wide receiver and their number one tackle. If you have Tetairoa McMillan and Monroe Freeling out there playing those positions on rookie contracts, you inherently have a market advantage. So take advantage of it now, but also if they play well, which you hope they do, you're going to have the first-class problem of having to come up with quite a bit of money for them.
So he was drafted 2023 10th overall. Carolina traded from number 9 up to Chicago to number 1. Then Philly swapped 9th and 10th pick. So Philly moved up one spot from 10 to 9 to get Jalen Carter.
So it's kind of part of the Bryce Young trade.
Yeah. Jalen Carter got paid as well.
That's also true.
Yep.
But Derek Brown already got paid, so you're setting the market on the defensive lineman. You're watching the market for your first round picks that are having success now. And I don't even like Monroe Freeling isn't even having success now. It's just something you got to look ahead to. Goodness, money is being spent. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's move on to one of our favorite games. It's a game of Cop or Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
All right, Tim, you just got done talking about Xavier Legette.
Yes, I did.
Cop or drop? The Carolina Panthers pick up his fifth-year option after this season. Cop or drop?
I'm dropping. I think you see this sometimes with quarterbacks. We saw it with Jordan Love, where it's like, well, you're not worth the fifth-year option. We don't know yet. But we'll keep you around, right? And they ended up signing like a 2-year deal with a lower average annual value. I think a significantly lower value. If Xavier Legette wants to stick around, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a good season that they keep him around for, a 2 or 3 year deal, significantly less money. But I don't think there's a chance that they pick up his fifth-year option based on what we've seen on the field so far.
Okay, cop or drop? Xavier Legette catches at least 55 passes this season. Cop or drop?
It would be tough. I don't like predicting injuries. So under the assumption that Tetairoa McMillan and Jalen Coker are both healthy, I think they are, and it's credit to them, I think they're going to be target hogs. I think they know how to get open, right? I think they'll be the number one options on most pass plays. What was the number, 55?
55. Catches at least 55.
That'd be a career high for him. I'll drop it. He's also playing a different role now, right? Like I'm dropping it. I don't think Xavier Legette gets to 55.
Okay, cop or drop? We'll stick with the Carolina Panthers. Cop or drop? Bryce Young combined touchdowns this season gets at least 30. Cop or drop? So we're talking
rushing and passing.
Rushing, passing.
No,
you know what? Even
no
receiving.
Pick sixes?
Even receiving.
Okay.
Why not return a kick? I don't know. But 30 or more combined touchdowns for Bryce Young, cop or drop?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
25 last year?
He had 23 passing, and I'm sure he had a couple rushing. I can actually check that right here. Oh, nope, I'm in advanced passing. Where do we get to rushing? Yeah, he had 2. But he did have 6 rushing touchdowns the year before. That's crazy. I would not bank on more than 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns. I actually don't think their best red zone kind of option is him running the football. And while he can mix in, if he wants to mix in like an 18-yard touchdown run or something like that on a scramble, I won't be mad at it. I don't think you're going to get more than 2 of those. I also think a quarterback of his stature, like if you're going tush-push, you'd much rather have like Tommy Tremble come in and take the snap or something like that, just somebody else. So the rushing touchdowns I'm minimizing. Basically, the way I'm treating this is, does he get to 28 passing touchdowns? That sounds like a lot, saying it out loud. Because I do think down in the red zone, they like to run the ball. I've also said many times you need Tetairoa McMillan to be more of a red zone threat this year. It's one of the few things he wasn't great at last year. Contested catches, red zone opportunities, and with his size, his wingspan, he should be better at it. I'm going to drop 28. I'm going to drop 30 combined, which in my mind is dropping 28 passing touchdowns. I think he's close, but I don't think he gets there.
Okay. Let's shift.
And I hope that means like Chuba or Jonathan Brooks has like 10 rushing touchdowns or something. I hope they're moving up and down the field. It's It's just he's not their best option on the red zone to run, and if you can move the ball on the ground in the red zone, I always think that's a little bit better. Control the clock.
All right, let's shift focus over to college football here real quick. Cop or drop? The 4 ACC schools here in the state of North Carolina, Wake, Duke, State, and Carolina, all 4 of those schools make a bowl game. Cop or drop?
Yeah, I'm dropping a lot today. I feel very negative. Glass half empty over here.
Clearly. Or just an empty glass, apparently.
Yeah. Well, you said all 4 would be bowl
all
eligible?
4 reach bowl eligibility. Just need 6 wins. That's it. Just 6.
I think it's unlikely Carolina is bowl eligible. I think they have a tough schedule. I think even if they improve, I think they could be a 5-win team.
Yeah, they're going to have the same record as last year and still be a better team.
Exactly. Now, obviously, I'm not saying it's a 0% chance that they become bowl eligible, but I also don't think it's a 0% chance that the other 3 are not bowl eligible, right? If the hard part about what Duke's doing is it's not easy to just replace your quarterback every year. This is going to be their 4th straight year with a new quarterback. They've gotten it pretty darn right for 3 straight years. But eventually, like you play with fire, you're going to get burned. I think State's going to be bowl eligible. Wake Forest is a tough one. Again, quarterback, no DeMond Claiborne. I'm buying what Jake Dickert is selling as a coach. Like I think he's got the right kind of attitude for Wake Forest. But there are inherent challenges in being the head coach at Wake Forest. He even talked about it at ACC kickoff when I asked him. Like, he knows the aisles that they can shop in and the aisles that they can't because they don't have the funding that way. So I'm dropping it, most likely with Carolina not making it. But, even if they do, then maybe there's some crazy stuff happening and somebody else doesn't that I do expect to make a bowl. So it's tough, but I'm dropping, and I don't like the way it feels that I'm being this negative.
So you think Carolina's the one that doesn't?
Most likely. There might be 2, but I think Carolina's the most. They're the ones that make it most difficult for me to cop that.
That's fair. You know what? I think I'm with you on that one. All right, let's stick with college football. Cop or drop? CJ Bailey, NC State quarterback. Cop or drop? Is at least 2nd team All-ACC this season. Cop or drop?
Okay, well, first of all, this is a tough competition.
It is.
If you look I'll just read you some of the nominees, some of the candidates. Darian Mensah.
Yep.
Pretty good player. We don't have to like how he handled every situation to admit he's a pretty good player. Jaron Kiave Sangopolutele, the quarterback at Cal, has some people that are really beating the drum for him. We talked with Pat Narduzzi, the head coach at Pitt, and he looked like he had a secret about Mason Heinschel. My guy's got it.
Yeah, he let the secret out. Oh, yeah, Miami was going after my guy before they went after Mensah.
He's like, he walks into a room, he commands it, he's got the quarterback thing, and yeah, he also said Miami only went after Mensah after our guy said no. There's some really good quarterbacks. There's Keinholz from Louisville is a guy that was a big pedigree recruit, hasn't really gotten the chance, but Louisville's done well finding those transfers and plugging them into big offenses.
Jennings from SMU.
I'm
a big fan of his.
I was both surprised that he's a little bit smaller than I thought, but also it didn't matter in him commanding the room. So it was like I was buying stock even as I was like, yeah, a little smaller than I thought. They've got some good quarterbacks in the ACC. Not to mention a bunch of unknowns that we who knows what's going to happen with a few of those guys. At least 2nd team. I do think CJ Bailey is the best pro prospect of the bunch. Again, some people will go with the Cal quarterback. Some people will go with Mensah. I don't think either of those are bad options. I just think Bailey's the best of them. So I'll buy it. I'll put him at least 2nd team. With my prediction being he's the best of the bunch, I've given myself a little room for error in saying he'll be at least the 2nd best of the bunch. So I'll buy that.
I think that's fair. And like you said, the competition at quarterback in the ACC actually is pretty deep. Like, it's actually a pretty deep conference when it comes to quality. Now, these guys might not be great pros, but in terms of college QBs, they're pretty solid.
They're not getting all the love on, like, the national rank the whole quarterback thing, but I think I forget where I said it. Could have been on this show. I think there's going to be a lot. I think there were 16 votes for CJ Bailey in the ACC preseason player of the year voting. I think there's going to be about 50 people saying they were one of those 16 at the end of the year. Whether he is or not, I think he's going to grow in just buzz and kind of like trendiness. Like, it's going to be really cool to be one of the first people that said CJ Bailey is really good. We've seen it with Fernando Mendoza. We've seen it with Cam Ward. We've seen it with a few guys that have burst onto the scene late. And it's like, oh, I knew as a freshman. Fernando showed everything at Cal. I'm like, oh, you just whispered it to yourself. You never told anybody else. I think there's going to be some of that going on with CJ Bailey.
All right, final one here. It's a three-parter individual copper drop, but it's the same question for all three schools. We had the college coaches top 25 poll just released today. NC State and Duke received votes. UNC did not receive any votes, so they're all outside of the top 25. I'm going to ask you individually real quick. Copper drop, UNC finishes in the top 25. Copper drop.
Drop.
Copper drop, Duke finishes the season in the top 25. Copper drop.
Drop. Their last month of the season is a brutal. We'll talk about their schedule later. I could see them being a top 25 team for a month, but I don't know if they'll finish a top 25 team.
All right, Copper drop, NC State finishes in the top 25. Copper drop.
I am copping, and again, we'll talk about their schedules in a second. I think their schedule has something to do with that, and if CJ Bailey's going to be a top 2 quarterback in the ACC, I don't think that happens if State isn't winning games, because we tend to put those wins and losses on the quarterback. So, kind of building off my previous prediction, I'll cop that. That's it for Copper Drop, one of our favorite games here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. As promised earlier, we have a North Carolina high school youth legend, as well as a guy that played at the highest levels, made it all the way up to the NBA. There it is, where he averaged like 19 points per game over a season for the Hornets. Devonte Graham, Big 12 Player of the Year at Kansas, the whole deal. He stopped by the studio earlier today, and we recorded an interview for you. So here it is, Devonte Graham and myself from earlier. Welcome back into The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us now in our side studio, brand new side studio, Devonte Graham. I'll list off some of the reasons people will know you. Broughton High School, Big 12 Player of the Year at Kansas, former Hornet, averaged 18 points per game back in 2019-2020, and now is bringing Devonte Graham Day, Community Day, to the area, Moore Square in Raleigh, August 15th. We'll talk about the community element in a minute, Devonte. But college legend, we have so much college basketball news going on. 5 years for 5 eligibility and everything that comes with it. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I'm excited for it. I think that's a great way to do it now. It's a lot going on in college with NILs and eligibility and people transferring and stuff like that. So I think they're just trying to, limit it to what they want it to be. But, yeah, definitely excited about it.
With all the changes, obviously you played during like a transition period where all of that was becoming more of a thing. Do you like the changes? Do you long for the college basketball that you watched growing up, or how does it work?
It's a love and hate thing, because you see a lot of guys just going places not for the right reasons, but them getting paid, I think definitely was the right thing for this college sports, and I believe that, with the 5-year eligibility thing, you can kind of limit guys to how many times they just can leave and get up or whatever the case may be. So
going back to when you played, especially coming out of high school, there was the commitment to App State. Then you ended up having to go to a prep year, and it became very difficult, I guess, to change your mind. Now you're talking about the transfer portal. Maybe guys aren't going for the right reasons, or they're chasing this. Is it too easy to transfer? From your perspective, I'm sure you wish it maybe was a little bit easier to get out of the commitment you had to App, but have they swung too far in the other direction?
It's definitely too easy to transfer now, because you obviously had to miss a year, and then if you transferred within the conference, you had to sit out 2 years. But now I think you could just you can go from NC State to UNC, and
it happens.
You know what I'm
it
saying?
Has happened,
right? You don't have any consequences. So I mean, they definitely made it a lot easier. They probably was a little too rough on back in the day with us, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
4 years at Kansas, though. Once you found your spot, you stayed and developed. How important is it to maybe have that stability, right? Because you look at your stats, it's just up, up all the way until you're the player of the year in the conference.
I think that's a big thing. I think sometimes, some people might jump ship too early, don't want to go through that rough phase of not playing or whatever the case may be. But I think for me personally, like I played for the same AAU team all my life, and then like went to Broad in all four. Then I had to go to prep school, but then I went to college for all four. So I think like having that stability and growing with that group of people that I was playing with was a big thing.
We're talking with Devonte Graham. I said it earlier, Broughton High School, Kansas, which we were just talking about. Also, former Hornet, averaged 18 points per game in the 2019-2020 season. The Hornets are getting some buzz now. Like there's some hype around their young core. From where you sit, are you happy that Charlotte's having that? A little jealous maybe that buzz wasn't there when you were doing your thing? How do you look at this young Hornets core?
No, definitely not jealous. It's a city, you want everybody to be good around here. So, the Hurricanes just won, and like you want to see the city thriving and having, that buzz, like you said. Got rid of my guy LaMelo and Miles, but two guys that I played with. But it seems like it's a good buzz around the city. I literally just left Charlotte this morning.
Two follow-ups. What do you make of the LaMelo trade? That's your guy. Obviously, somebody who's kind of polarizing to the public, but in Minnesota, is it like what does it do for him? What does it do for the Hornets?
I was surprised. I didn't think that they, would have.
A lot of us were
got rid of him, but it's the business, is how things go, and obviously Minnesota's getting a great talent, and then they just got to try to make it work with him and Ant and whoever they bring around him.
Next follow-up on what you said. Were you following the Hurricanes? Or are you a Caniac?
I'm not a Caniac, but I kind of kept up a little bit.
All right, since they're winning, you're going to talk some trash? We're talking with Devonte Graham. I was on your social media, scrolled way back. What was it like to be traded by Michael Jordan? Being a guy from North Carolina and then having Michael Jordan, obviously, he's a big deal everywhere, but especially in North Carolina, having him be a part of that leadership group that traded you.
I didn't look at it in a negative way. Obviously I wanted to stay because I'm a kid from North Carolina, growing up and actually playing for Mike was like a dream come true. Absolutely. Being sponsored by Jordan, every kid's dream, So
my producer's ears just perked up. He's a gigantic sneakerhead, and he just heard sponsored by Jordan. And player exclusives jumped right into the back of his brain.
Player exclusives, all that, So it was amazing. Wish I could have stayed, obviously, being from here, but like I said, it's the business side of it. So
that didn't tilt your GOAT debates or whatever. You didn't let the personal jump in.
No, I didn't. I gave my personal debate while I was on the team. I said that LeBron was
okay. While you were employed by Michael, you said LeBron was the GOAT.
Either right as I was employed
or
around the
trade. I'm just saying it might have had something to do with it. I guarantee you it didn't, but it's more the value that you brought. Let's talk about the community event, then I have some fun questions to do at the end. Devonte Graham Day, August 15th, Moore Square. What is it? What is the goal behind it? How are you going to help out the kids in the community?
It's just what it says. It's a community day. It's for all ages. It's not just for kids. Obviously, we got like school giveaway, backpack giveaways, and supplies like that. But for the older crowd, we have live music, DJs. We're giving out free haircuts, food trucks, health and wellness stations. I have high blood pressure, so we have a station for like people to check their blood pressure and things like that, just to give them a little knowledge about it. And a bunch of vendors, man. I think this is gonna be our best year. This is the 5th one. I think we got the most vendors we've had since we've been doing it, and it should be a really good time.
Well, we were just talking off air. You kind of call your home base New Orleans now. You've played all over the world and all over the country. Why do you have to come back to kind of your home community in Raleigh to put on an event like this?
This is where I'm from, born and raised. Even though I don't live here right now, this will forever be home. The community that raised me, that supports me unbelievably. Every time I come home, it's just nothing but love and, people laughing and hugging me and telling me how proud they are of me. So, that's just, something that me and my family are, really big on, is giving back. So, we definitely try to do this every year.
In addition to the Devonte Graham Community Day, there's also the Believe Foundation, which is kind of the benefactor of the day, your foundation. That's Believe with a 4 between the I and the V if you're spelling it out and looking for it online. What is the goal of the Believe Foundation? Why is that the name? Give us the origin.
Yeah, like you said, it's Believe Foundation, BELI4VE, just in case you guys was looking it up. But it's to do exactly what it says, man. It's to get kids, teenagers, even adults, just to believe in themselves, believe in their vision, their goals. We live in a tough world, and there's a lot of people who send out negative things. There's a lot of social media, and you watch and you see all these things, and you kind of can get down, depressed, and whatever the case may be. But it's so that you just believe in yourself.
Devonte Graham, Big 12 Player of the Year at Kansas, former Hornet. He bounced around a few NBA teams. We'll come back and we'll give all the details for your community day again. Will you, I should say, allow us to ask just some basketball nerd questions, just some fun ones here?
Let's do it.
All right. Yourself, point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Fill out the rest of the starting five with your favorite or best teammates that you've played with. Could be at any level throughout your career.
Any level?
We need a 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless you're going to kick yourself to the 2, then you can bring someone else as the 1.
Okay, I'll be the 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put Kemba Walker as the 2.
It's a good start.
I'm gonna have Wemby as my 5.
That's a good start, or a good addition. We need a 3 and a 4. I can see the gears cranking. You're running through a whole bunch of teammates right now.
I'm running through a whole bunch of teammates right now. Let's go. I'm going to just stay in the NBA as my NBA teammates. So I'm going to go with – I'm going to put Brandon Ingram as my 3.
North Carolina guy.
And I'm going to have Zion Williamson as my 4.
Couple of Duke guys. You're keeping them around. That's, by the way, a pretty bananas starting 5.
Kemba, B.I., Zion, and Wemby.
Now, that 4 or that 5 shot to win it all, who's taking it?
Oh, we got it.
Who's taking it, though?
What do you mean?
You're drawing up a play
for shot
somebody.
To win it all. What we need?
You're down 2. 10 seconds on the clock. So you can play for the tie or you can play for the win. That's on you.
I'm gonna get a ball to Kemba.
Cardiac Kemba. It's good. It's a good bet. More fun NBA questions. What was your welcome to the NBA moment? Did you have a moment where you looked around and went like, oh, well, I'm here?
Well, I had 2.
Okay, let me hear them.
First one was in practice. Marvin Williams, UNC guy, OG Marv. He set one of the hardest screens I had ever. I think it was like my first week there, yeah, literally. Ran into his screen and I was out for like a week, shoulder injury.
Grown man strength.
Yeah, grown man strength. And the funny thing, they was like, yeah, you got to get in the weight room, little man. Like, you got to get in the weight room.
Teammates weren't calling screen? You didn't have the help?
I think they did. It just didn't matter. I couldn't get around it.
All right, one more time. Devonte Graham Day, August 15th, Moore Square. There's book bags being given away. There's health and wellness, healthcare resources provided by Wake Med. You brought up blood pressure. So there's kind of all-encompassing food trucks, live music. Is there anything else you want the people to know about Devonte Graham Day?
I mean, bouncy houses, face paint.
They might meet Devonte Graham walking around?
I'll definitely be there. I'll be there the entire time. We're going to be giving away select items, selling hats, DG4 hats, shirts.
A lot of reasons to go check it out.
It's going to be a lot of reasons to be there. It's going to be a good time, and it's from 12 to 4, like we said, so be there the entire time.
For the kids. Devonte, we appreciate you coming out. Good luck with everything you have going on, and we'll be sure to support Devonte Graham Day.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Hope to see y'all.
Once again, Devonte Graham from earlier today here on 99.9 The Fan. If you have questions about Devonte Graham Day, what's going to be going on, where do you have to go, you can head to Believe, that's BELI4VE.com. That is the foundation that he runs, and also the benefactor of Devonte Graham Day. So there's more information there for you. Devonte Graham Day, Believe.com, with a 4 there between I and V. And it's always fun to talk with basketball legends about, that was a very confusing sentence. But you bounce around the league for like 7-8 years. Then you ask the question of who's your best starting 5 of teammates only. And you catch Brandon Ingram, Kemba Walker, Victor Wembanyama, and Zion. Like, that is a crazy group to put together. And Devonte Graham's been right there mixing it up with all those guys in practice and otherwise. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I don't know what's happening right now, Dennis.
This actually just came from the Carolina Panthers. So a few roster moves here from the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers have signed wide receivers Elijah Cooks and Rock Taylor. They waived wide receiver Gabriel Bengard. Has also waived injured wide receiver Aeneas Smith, but also placed defensive end LeBrian Ray on the reserve retired list.
Okay, so
he actually did not practice today. Dave Canales was asked about it. He said personal, and he was placed on this was literally as of 6-7 minutes ago. He was replaced on the reserve retired list. Played 5 seasons in the NFL, 45 games. Been all with the Panthers. Actually, I'm sorry, 3 seasons with the Panthers. But
okay, so
nonetheless,
just to sort through the noise there a little bit, the other moves, the wide receiver moves you're talking about, that's just shuffling at the end of the roster.
That's all at the end of the roster.
I don't expect many, if any, of those guys to have a real shot at making the team. The LeBrian Ray conversation, though, that's a bit more impactful. If for no other reason than he is a defensive lineman at a position that's a little thin. With Turk Wharton's injury, with Nick Scorton's injury, with the way that position is just kind of fallen. He's a near 300-pounder, if not 300-pounder, big dude, and significantly below the age where you would expect like a retirement decision. I think he's 28, 29 years old. So
came into the league in 2022. Played 5 years at Alabama before coming to the league as undrafted free agent in 2022 with the Patriots. But spent the last 3 seasons with the Panthers. Played 46 games.
Now we've seen this a couple times now. There was Jalen Polk, the wide receiver for the Saints, who started his career with the Patriots, retired a few days ago.
Yeah, still early, really early in his career.
Yeah, second or third year in the league. Sometimes you don't realize you don't love it until you get out there and you're asked to suit him up again for another day of training camp, and it's just, the body isn't moving the way I thought it would, or the fire isn't there. And I don't know what the reason is for LeBrian Ray, but it's not the most unusual thing, but that is something that the Panthers are going to have to deal with. Just more opportunity for a Lee Hunter, a Cam Jackson, more opportunity for some of these young defensive linemen to get out there and prove their stuff.
Aaron Hall, defensive tackle out of Duke.
Undrafted free agent out of Duke, who felt very much like a secret that wasn't a secret. Like as soon as he went to Carolina, everyone went, "Ooh, that's a good spot for him." And we talked with Manny Diaz, I think it was off the air at ACC Kickoff, where Aaron Hall was very much like, "Oh, that's a great spot for him. He's going to do great."
I told Manny, I said, "Your guy Aaron Hall's making the team. I think he's going to make it."
Which, you hate to have huge, what good news for Aaron Hall, LeBrian Ray retiring, but it could end up right that end of the roster. It's so a hair here, a hair there. You make the team or you don't. If that's what gives him his opportunity, could be an exciting deal for Aaron Hall. So we'll continue to make sense of that if we can. LeBrian Ray hitting the reserved retired list for the Carolina Panthers. Not a starter, but still a player at an important position. When we come back, we talked a little bit about college football schedules. We'll dive in even deeper for the teams in the Triangle. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
Don't buy this line that Carolina only won the Cup because Florida was too broken to challenge for a 3rd straight title. The Hurricanes were the best team in the league. They were way better than they were the previous year. And I know we can't prove it, but I think Carolina would have beaten Florida if the Panthers were standing in their way. Don't worry what Florida did. Make yourself better.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Yeah, can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first, then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. That's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Right now at Circle K, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew and get another for just $1. Do the Dew at Circle K today.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months, zero interest?
12 months, zero interest, zero payments for 12 months.
Zero payments and zero interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we know you're no stranger to setting big goals, whether in school, at work, or in life. And you're ready for more. At UMGC, we offer the skills-based education you need to move your career forward. Learn how to apply AI, data science, and other emerging tech. Plus, gain skills in leadership and critical thinking. You've come far. Succeed again. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This hour is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is what we do. We talk sports. All right. College football season right around the corner. Camps have started. Players are out there putting in their sweat equity, getting ready to make some withdrawals week 0 and beyond. Right now, one of the things going on is a lot of schedule evaluating, right? Who has the easy path, who has the hard path. I think some of that is a little overdone, right? I would love, especially in the transfer world, where teams can be rebuilt overnight, if we kind of pump the brakes on evaluating all of this until like a month or 5 weeks into the season. But the reality is nobody is patient in college sports at all. So you got to jump in right away. So we decided we were going to rank schedules. And at first we kept it very, very vague. We're just going to rank them. What's the sexiest? What's the best? What's the most entertaining? And I noticed something. As I made all my lists, right, I was trying to figure it out. Anything that was for getting the most wins or easiest or what, like however you want to word that, was in direct opposite ranking order of anything that was for entertainment, anything that was for buzz, anything that was for like most games circled, right? However you want to word it, they were opposite. So we were dealing with the 3 teams in the triangle: State, Duke, UNC, UNC, Duke, State, Duke, UNC, State, whatever order you start with. When it comes to wins, like the easiest schedule, if you will, or on paper, the one that should lead to the most wins, NC State had the best schedule. They have no Miami, no SMU, no Clemson. They catch Louisville and Duke at home. And I would say their non-conference schedule isn't the worst thing in the world. They don't have Notre Dame. It's a mostly easy schedule.
They got App State at home.
App State at home as well. Second easiest I have is Duke. It's not easy, but it starts easy. Not easy is the wrong word, but Tulane, Illinois, Stanford, William and Mary in your first 4, you can get some momentum going there. Now it does finish more difficult, but it's easier to get momentum and keep it than it is to start.
Yeah, they finish at State, at Miami, home against Clemson, at Wake,
which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah.
And then number 3, UNC. They catch Miami, Louisville, Clemson, NC State. In their first 4 weeks, they have TCU, Clemson, and Notre Dame. It is a tough schedule for a team that could use a pillow, right? Like
and they got to go to Pitt and to Duke, right? That's their first 6 games.
Whew. It's a very, very difficult schedule on paper compared to the others to start the season. So for wins, like, most likely to aid you to 8, 9, 10 wins, State first, Duke second, UNC third. Now for entertainment, right? For how often you're going to see good teams, how often you're going to have box office games. Number 1 has to be Carolina. If you look at their schedule, they're never more than one game from a box office game. Like it's not like every single game on their schedule is a behemoth or you got to see it game, but they never go 2 games without a game that you got to see. Right? East Tennessee State is between TCU and Clemson. If you think Syracuse isn't that big of a bully, guess what? You play Miami next. And you play Duke before it. If you think UConn's a little meh, well, Miami before it, Louisville after it. Like, no matter where you are, you're coming off a big game, you're playing a big game, or you're looking at a big game the next week, anywhere on their schedule. Now, obviously, to make them big games, UNC has to be up to the challenge, right? They become less entertaining if they're all 28-6. So they have to be up to the challenge, but their schedule, just looking at schedule, wildly entertaining. Number 2 for entertainment would be Duke, because of those November fireworks. Like, you look at their schedule, you always have, if you want like big brawls, if you want really exciting games, there's always at least a carrot of the last month of the season is going to be fireworks. At NC State, at Miami, versus Clemson, at Wake Forest, all in November. 7th, 14th, 20th, 28th. Boom, boom, boom. Now you mix in a few, like I think at Illinois is a good game. At Georgia Tech will be exciting. Obviously, North Carolina at home is going to be a game with some intensity. At Virginia, they have good games elsewhere, but that last month is a heck of a finale. And then for North Carolina State, they're the 3rd in entertainment because they're kind of like non-headliner wins, right? They should be a lot of wins. It'll be very exciting for an NC State fan to watch. But if your favorite team plays on Thursday or they have a bye week, I don't think there's going to be many opportunities where you're like, oh, well, at least the NC State game's on. Maybe the Louisville game. App State, if you're very much into cross-state rivalries and things like that. Duke, Carolina, same reasons. Wake Forest, same reasons. But Stanford's not getting you jacked up. Syracuse is not getting you jacked up. Richmond's not getting you jacked up. Even Vanderbilt, which might have a good team, it's not like huge storylines. It's just like, hey, pretty good ACC and a pretty good SEC team. Like it's different. So I'm looking at NC State saying, I'd rather have the wins than the entertainment, but to me, there's a direct opposite here. You know what I mean? If you are looking for entertainment, you're also probably not getting as many wins, which is, by the way, the struggle in like non-conference schedules for coaches. Because fans want like cool destination games. They want awesome opponents. They want stories. They want those headliner games. But then at the end of the season, they also want 9 wins. And it's more difficult to do that when you're trying to thread the needle with a non-conference schedule.
If you're looking at just from a home standpoint, obviously UNC has State at home. They have Miami at home. And they have Notre Dame at home. So from a home slate, that's not bad. Now, from NC State's standpoint, I get 3 in-state opponents at home. I get Duke at home, I get Wake at home, and I get App all at home as well. I will say this, though. From a fun environment atmosphere, I'm looking forward to App versus NC State at Carter Finley. That is just like as an in-state tailgating atmosphere.
Yes, I was just going to say.
That's going to be a blast.
I was just going to say, if we're judging tailgates,
that one's the one.
That one's going to be close to the top.
That's my 1 seed.
And that's from both sides. Like
yes.
App will travel well to Carter Finley Stadium. So that's I agree. But also State will hope once the game gets started that it's not super entertaining. But underrate or overlook App at your own peril because they have a history of catching teams that overlook them, including one of the biggest upsets in the history of college football. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As we move on from schedules, I'm going to talk to you about a different schedule. Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. I'm going to talk to you about a maintenance schedule. I'm going to talk to you about a maintenance schedule that can remove the big headaches. Mainer Service Company, getting them set up on a maintenance schedule for your heating and cooling system will save you gigantic headaches, right? Come out every so often. They'll schedule it with you. It'll be discussed. But come out every so often, check to make sure everything's working well. and catch everything when it's just a seedling. And when I'm talking about problems, catch a problem at the first sign of issue. You replace a part, you fix something, you tighten something, and oh, look at that. You've avoided the catastrophe that's going to cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars down the road. Maynard Service Company, yes, absolutely keep their phone number, which I'll give you in a second, for the emergencies, for something broken. Plumbing's broken, electrical work is on the fritz, heating, cooling system goes down. I need them here now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but also get them set up on a schedule, right? There is no easy or hard schedules, and we're not talking about a sports schedule. I'm just talking about getting them set up to come check out your house to maybe avoid some of those catastrophes. The number to call, as promised, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or check them out online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. When we come back, it's starting 5 time here on The Drive. Don't go anywhere.
Adam.
I'm Adam Gold, and I'm there.
Tim.
I'm Tim Donnelly, and I'm there.
Dennis.
I'm Dennis Cox, and I'm there.
Victoria.
I'm Victoria Bodenecker, and I'm there.
Paul.
I'm Paul Eihander, and I'm there too.
You'll find them all here on the brand new 99.9 The Fan app. To work, to school, the beach, the mountains, the arena, take The Fan with you wherever you go. Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
You pull up at a McDonald's drive-thru at the crack of dawn to get your $3 crispy chicken biscuit. You've been craving it all night. It was a very long night, but your taste buds pulled through. Those are no ordinary taste buds, and you are no ordinary human. You are a champion, and you deserve a $3 crispy chicken biscuit. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Refuel and get 25 cents off per gallon when you buy 2 20-ounce Pepsi Zero Sugars with Refuel Rewards.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
On
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Tonight, scattered storms remain possible early with a low of 73. It's mostly cloudy Wednesday with a high of 87. Another chance for scattered storms in the forecast. Highs are back near 90 on Thursday.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, up 907 points to 54,085.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan, and it is time, as you just heard the big voice tell you, it's time for the starting five, brought to you by Baker Home Exteriors. For roofing, siding, windows, and doors, trust the team that's been doing good work for over 100 years. Baker Home Exteriors, roofing the Carolinas since 1915. Now, we start with number 5.
Count them! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stone, who leaves it for Eichel. Eichel has it taken away by Slavin, but Stone till a loose puck. Now Aho digs in deep, can't clear. Dorothea tries the short side, and a shoulder save by Bussey.
We are 8 weeks, 2 months, as of today, from the Canes season opener, which is not just any old season opener. Home game against the Panthers, which will feature a banner-raising ceremony. Often seen as like the last touch on a Stanley Cup celebration is putting that banner up in the rafters where people will tell you, banners hang forever. It is also part of the gift and the curse of winning a Stanley Cup or playing in a Stanley Cup final is your offseason is quick. Which is why like a Seth Jarvis surgery is going to eat up into so much of last year. If he would have been able to do it right after the regular season, he'd be a good amount into recovery already. So there's again, gift and curse. The good news for the Canes is they appear to be deep enough, especially in the forward category, where it's going to be kind of exciting to see what like a Bradley Nadeau can do while you're waiting for Seth Jarvis to come back. The other thing is 8 weeks, actually less than that if you're talking about getting together for training camp and preseason and everything. 8 weeks to figure out what's going to happen with Alexander Nikishin. It's going to have to go in some direction at some point. I still think there's significant runway left for them to be patient, but at some point they're going to have to decide what they're going to do with Alexander Nikishin. Is it a bridge deal? Is it a trade, which seems less and less likely by the day? Is it a long-term deal? Are you breaking the bank? Right? RG.org, the Russian publication. He was quoted with a smirk saying more than $8 million per year is what he wants. There's some real numbers being thrown around. We'll see. But regardless of how that all breaks down, time waits for no one. 8 weeks from today, the Canes will be playing regular season NHL hockey.
I want to say it's 6 weeks from today is when they actually report for training camp. Because September 20th is actually their first preseason game, which is less than 7 weeks away. So I want to say 6 weeks from today, they're actually reporting to camp.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then, like you said, 8 weeks.
8 weeks
banner goes up.
8 weeks, it counts.
Yeah.
Banner
goes up.
Not only does the banner go up, but the defense starts. Like you now have to defend your title. Everybody has their target set on you, including the team you're going to be playing in that opener. You don't get to like ease into it. Florida's going to be bringing everything that Florida brings. A couple of chucks. Should be fun. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together. What?
All right, I often say, right, I try to hold myself accountable. Yesterday, we talked quite a bit about the chaos of the fifth-year players who thought their eligibility had expired in college, who, due to a court ruling, suddenly had eligibility again. And I was listening back to it, right, because I do that little film, right? Got to get in the film room, take notes, get better. I thought I was being a little too, theoretical. right? I always say when you trade a draft pick, try to predict a player who's going to be taken there and see if you would trade that player. Because it's easy to go like, hey, I traded away the 13th pick. It's more difficult to say, like, I traded away the best corner in the draft. His name is blah, blah, blah. So yesterday we just kept saying, like, good fifth-year players. I kept saying, like, all conference fifth-year players are going to be available. So I wanted to take this time to just show how good these players that suddenly have eligibility are. BJ Edwards at SMU suddenly has formerly of SMU, suddenly has eligibility. He scored 13 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and is a 2-time All-ACC defensive player. Somebody's going to get him or has to make room for him. Jason Edwards, he has been in his career, most recently at Providence, over 16 points per game. He is a former first-team All-American Conference and third-team All-SEC player. Keyshawn Hall, most recently at Auburn, where he averaged darn near 20 and 7, 19.3 points and 7.1 rebounds and 2.6 assists. He has been second-team All-A10, second-team All-Big 12, and third-team All-SEC. Suddenly has eligibility left. I'll give you some guys that you're more familiar with. Cade Tyson, former bench warmer for UNC. Left UNC, averaged 20 points per game at Minnesota in the Big Ten. Suddenly more eligibility. Jalen Washington, at one time a part-time starter for Carolina. Played at Vanderbilt, where he averaged 9 and 6 and almost a block and a half per game. Suddenly has eligibility. A big guy that averages a block and a half and is at least formidable on offense, there's a million coaches that would love to have more of that on their roster. Darian Williams, first team All-Big 12 while at Texas Tech, preseason ACC Player of the Year last year.
Yeah, well, not much postseason awards.
It didn't translate, but he was preseason All-ACC Player. Averaged 14, 5, and 3 with NC State a season ago, while shooting over 40% from 3. These are skill sets that everybody wants. If you shoot over 40% from 3, I bet even Justin Gainey, who's like, I know it didn't go well for NC State, but 40% from 3, I can't turn that away. It's all over the place. And then there's even more. I have a first-team All-A10 player. I have a first-team All-Mountain West player. I have a 2-time first-team All-Ivy League player. I have a second-team All-SEC player. These are players who are waiting on one more ruling from a judge to have their eligibility guaranteed. And quite frankly, once one judge does it, it seems like dominoes. They're just waiting on formalities there. You could put together a tournament. I think you could put together a top 25 team with exclusively players that have gained their eligibility back in the last week. I'm not talking theory, right? I'm not talking nameless, faceless players. Malik Renault was an All-ACC player last year at Miami. He averaged 19 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 2 assists per game. He's fighting a little bit of a different fight because he did sign an Exhibit 10 NBA contract with the Magic. But at this point, if there's any kind of lawsuit, I anticipate the NCAA losing, and he'll get its eligibility at some point. Doesn't matter if somebody can make the room for him. There are good players worth a lot of NIL that are just calling teams and saying, hey, you got a spot for me. And those coaches are going to have a real difficult decision. Do I take this all-conference player who's 23? Or do I keep my word to the underwhelming high school recruit that I promised a spot, and if he works hard, he might help us next year? It's a real tough deal. Hopefully I did a better job there for you. That was number 4. Let's get to number 3. The coaches poll put together by USA Today for college football debuted their 2026-2027 first rankings. I'll give you the top 5, and then we'll dive into the ACC and the local teams. The top 5, Ohio State, number 1. First time they've been number 1 in over a decade to start the season.
Really?
Preseason.
Interesting.
It's not like they haven't been top 5, right? They've been near the top, but just in the preseason, first time since 2015. Oregon number 2, Georgia number 3, Texas number 4, Notre Dame number 5. That's where they start.
No love for the reigning champs.
Indiana number 6, so they're just outside the top 5. I'm sure Kurt Signetti has a quip about that. In the Midwest, we don't care about rankings. We care about wins, and we do it well. Google me. Miami, the first ACC school, follows up Indiana. So those two played for the national championship last year. Indiana won the national championship game. They are 6th. Miami is 7th. That's the top of the ACC. The next ACC team is SMU. They come in 20th. Then there's Clemson. They come in 23rd. And that's it for the top 25. I'd be lying if I didn't think perhaps a Louisville might be able to jump over Missouri, who's 25, maybe get a little bit more representation. Louisville is the first team out of the top 25 that's also receiving votes. You can call them 26th. But, if you want to shuffle up 23 to 26, 27 to 30, you're splitting hairs. There's an inexact science to this in the preseason. Virginia also receiving votes with 40 votes. Georgia Tech, 26 votes, also receiving votes. NC State, 13 votes. Tied with Florida State, also 13 votes. Virginia Tech, hot on their heels, 12. Duke, 6. And Cal bringing up the rear, not just of the ACC, but of everybody, with just the 1 vote. Tied with Kansas State, Jacksonville State, and Hawaii for the fewest amount of those also receiving votes. It's an inexact science. This is a coaches poll, though, so you would think that the coaches wouldn't, fly by night with these. They would put at least, I don't even want to say their effort. A lot of times the head coaches will task somebody with coming up with their vote and then just kind of co-sign it and send it in because, coaches are very high and mighty about how their time is spent. But you can go look at the list of voters, USA Today, of everybody that turned in their ballot, so you see which coaches have voted. I said this earlier, I'll say it again. The ACC has an uphill battle, right? When you look at the default, and I think some of it is, if it comes down to like, hey, I've got an ACC team and a Big Ten team, I think they're kind of similar. Coaches, media members, seemingly everybody go, tie break, go to Big Ten. Tie break, go to the SEC. And because of that, you got to go out and win the games if you want to be an ACC team that has a chance at the playoff. You got to go out and win the games. The other thing I'll say is, for the first time since the playoffs have been implemented, if you win your conference, you're in. So, for the first time, you can truly say you control your own destiny. It used to be, right, especially with like a 4-team playoff, if you were in the preseason outside the rankings, maybe 1 loss was all you had. Maybe. Because if there was ever 2 losses, you were tied with one of the teams that was ranked higher in the preseason, you didn't stand a chance. So maybe 1 loss. Now, you drop a couple non-conference games, but you catch fire and you roll through your conference, you can punch your ticket to the CFP. So no matter how far you're outside the votes, even like, Carolina, not receiving any votes in the coaches poll, 0. You can realistically tell your players, whether you believe in it or not, if we win all our conference games and we win the conference championship, they can't keep us out of the playoff, which I like. It's very basketball, right? Win your conference, figure out the rest later is a good way to look at this, and you don't have to get mad looking at all the rankings, whether it's the coaches poll, the AP poll, the first CFP rankings, all of them. ESPN, FPI, you can say, those be darned. We win the games. We'll take care of ourselves. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
So there's a lot of news about people getting paid today. Bijan Robinson, 3 years, $75 million, $51 million guaranteed. His hold-in for the Atlanta Falcons will stop. He'll start participating in practice again. Zay Flowers, wide receiver for the Ravens, got 4 years, $35 million per year. 108 of that guaranteed.
Scrooge McDuck money, man.
Most guaranteed money for a wide receiver ever on a single contract extension. Also, Darnell Wright getting $29 million per year on a 4-year contract extension. He is a offensive tackle for the Bears. Now, you want to know why when we're leading into the draft, I talk about premium positions that you're drafting or not drafting? Right there. Does anybody think Darnell Wright or Zay Flowers are seen at their positions as good as Bijan Robinson is seen at his position? No. Zay Flowers is not. I mean, at worst, what are you saying Bijan Robinson is? Like the third best running back in the NFL? If you're being mean, I think comfortably top 2, maybe top 1. He's getting an otherworldly contract of $25 million per year, with just 51 of that guaranteed over 3 years. Zay Flowers, where would you put him in the wide receiver rankings? I'm not going to lay out my rankings here, but I doubt it's top 10. He's getting significantly more money per year than Bijan Robinson. Darnell Wright, I don't have him as a top 2 or 3 tackle in the league. He's getting significantly more money, both guaranteed per year, total contract, than Bijan. So what I'm saying is, the contracts, the players that you draft, if they are top level, are bigger steals financially over the length of their rookie contract if they are at the positions that get paid more when you are at the top of your game. So the Panthers, over the last 2 years, drafting Tetairoa McMillan at wide receiver and drafting Monroe Freeling at tackle, if they end up being really, really good players, guess what? They end up being much bigger steals than an off-ball backer or a running back or a non-premium position would be. Because even if you draft a running back in the first round and he's the best running back in the NFL, you're saving yourself Bijan Robinson's contract minus the rookie contract, which is significantly less than if you draft a wide receiver and he's one of the best in the NFL, because you're saving Zay Flowers' contract minus the rookie contract, and there's just going to be a bigger gap there. So unless there are no premium positions that you love, take the premium position. Unless it's just a desert of no good premium positions. Take the edge rusher, take the tackle, take the quarterback, take the wide receiver, take the corner. If you can. Again, if they're not there, don't force it. But if it's close, much better financial decision. Can you imagine being Bijan Robinson? I am the best.
Yes, I can. I can, actually.
I am the best, bar none, player on my offense. I had to hold out to get just barely above Kyle Pitts money. Like, it's
yeah, I'm the best player on this team.
And then the day you're celebrating your $25 million per, Zay Flowers gets $35 million per. You're looking around going, I think I'm a better receiver than he is. I could line me up outside. Drake London's like, yeah, I got a lot more money than you two. You're going to get the ball a bunch more. You're going to be the engine of our offense. I'm going to catch 8 balls a game and be way more rich. It's a weird market in the NFL. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
I feel great about playing football right now.
Carolina Panthers had another practice earlier today as they continue to get ready not only for the regular season, but they play a preseason game on Thursday, the Hall of Fame game. We have a few bits of audio here that we haven't played for you as of yet, so let's get into it. Dave Canales, head coach, Carolina Panthers, after practice today, was asked on his thoughts on the number of injuries that the Panthers have faced, and I'll run you through a quick list. Day 1, Nick Scorton, lost for the year, ACL. Day 2 in pads, Chris Brazzell, third-round pick wide receiver, lost to the year to a knee injury. There's also been scares for players like Mitchell Evans, who is out, but it looks like it's not going to be for super long. He's got a tweaked ankle.
I think he's back practicing. Yeah.
Back already?
Yeah.
Perfect. Which is actually, it might not have even been a fully rolled ankle, back already. And then there was a scare today for Xavier Legette. There's been, non-football illness for Taylor Moton, the blood clot in his lung keeping him out.
Damian Lewis, the offensive lineman, has a calf issue.
There's
Robert Hunt missed some time with a little bit of a back.
They started the camp with a non-football injury from J.C. Horn, stitches on his toe, but he's back and practicing.
Bobby Brown III, hamstring, but he's back.
So there's been a long list of injuries. The Brazel and Scorton ones, the headliners, if you look at it that way. Here's Dave Canales, and I'm sure I missed a couple. Like, that's all off the top. Here's Dave Canales on his thoughts on the number of injuries.
I mean, you we could be sitting in a different room in a different city, and we're all dealing with the same type of deal. Things come up. We practice hard. We practice at a good clip, and, fortunately for us, we have some time. Time's on our side, so we'll just treat these guys. We have them here in the building, and we'll get them back out there when they're ready.
Yeah, I think that's the way you have to look at it. I think if you really dive in, not every team is suffering from the same amount of injuries. But I do think if you look at it big picture, outside of right now what the Niners are going through is kind of crazy over the last 6 years. But if you remove them, I think if you take any 3-year period, it kind of comes out in the wash. You're going to lose a couple important players. You're going to lose a couple players that you liked as a dark horse. You're going to have 1 year where it feels like, wow, we kind of got lucky, didn't have many injuries. It's every team goes through the ups and downs, so you have to be prepared for it. It feels like a down for the Panthers now. It feels like they're in a heavy period. Hopefully that means there's a couple light periods coming up that will even it out, but I do think it comes out in the wash if you take a big enough sample size.
And if you look at last year for the Carolina Panthers, all their starters from the beginning of training camp were all healthy game number one. The only, I guess, kind of big injury.
Jalen Coker was a little bit.
It was Jalen Coker. Yeah, that's really about it. So, yeah, last year they were super fortunate to start the year the way they were. But, yeah, this year, unfortunately, they've, like you said, kind of got that injury bug. But trust me, they ain't the only team.
It's
the only team.
And I've said this before. When you're in it, when you are a player or a coach and it's your career and you're in you get desensitized to it. It's weird. It could be your best friend there with a season-ending injury, and you're just kind of like, darn, man. Hey, you're going to get really good at video games because you're not moving for a couple weeks. It's really strange. The further I get away from my playing career, the more I catch the pit in my stomach where I'm like, oh no, I get sad. When you're a player, you're just like, all right, hey, who's the backup? Find his helmet. Let's get snaps, right? As a quarterback, it was always get the center up here. I need to get some snaps. Even if somebody in my room is laying on the ground. It's very strange. So that's how you have to deal with it. Another piece of audio that we haven't played for you yet. A player who's getting a little bit of love. There might be one of those training camp secrets. Jasim Reed, a wide receiver, came in with very, very little fanfare. Here's Dave Canales explaining why or how they think he's showing out in camp.
Just by nature of the position, he catches it when they throw it to him. He does the right things. He's where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. Those things go so far in the quarterback room. First and foremost, the guys talk about it. They're looking to throw him the ball. That's a really good thing. Love where Jasim's at. Again, just continue to push him on the special teams front too, because all of our guys are going to be asked to help in different ways. But I'm really pleased where he's at right now, and he just got to continue to take every day, just take one more step.
So he is, ready for this, a small school player who is not expected when he's not the fastest, right? He's like a 4.55 40 guy who just catches everything thrown his way, according to the coach. Where have we heard this before? Sounds kind of Cokerish, doesn't it? I think people maybe underrate some of Coker's athleticism outside of the 40, unbelievable vertical guy and body control. And I don't know that about Jasim Reed, but they do have a history of finding these kind of smaller school diamonds in the rough wide receivers, and perhaps he has that chance.
I spent all last season on the practice squad.
Perhaps he has that chance, which Coker spent some time on the practice squad. Not a full season, but some time. So maybe there's a chance. Injuries ahead of him, opportunity for somebody.
The way that they've been talking about Jasim Reed, and I actually remember hearing his name pop up from a couple people even in the offseason. Hey, it's a legit shot of making this 53. I'm like, even though they brought John Mechie in, they got Jimmy Horn Jr. and drafted him. Like, nope, keep an eye on Jasim Reed. The way they talk about Jasim Reed is similar to how they talked about Bryce Tremaine last year. Who made the 53-man roster and a lot of people weren't expecting it.
I like when you go small school to have a guy who, straight dominated. If you are like a toolsy guy, he ran a fast 40, but he played, and I played at the FCS level, so I can say this, but he played at the FCS level and his stats weren't crazy. Like, I want, and Jasim Reed is this, I want somebody that even at a non-quarterback position was like the offensive player of the year in your conference, which is what he was with the, I think it's the Pioneer Football League. So maybe, right? It's still a long shot, but he's earned the chance to go prove that a long shot can pay off. We'll see. It's up to him now. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Kalshi. Before the season even kicks off, we don't even have live game action. Everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, you can trade on all of those markets. It's America's #1 prediction market platform. Right now, you can go trade on Carolina's total wins. Right? We're talking the team up there in Charlotte. Does Bryce have it in him to get 8 wins again? That's 44%. What about 9 wins? 33%. What that means is a $100 trade on the Panthers to get 9 or more wins would pay out at $280+ if it happens. Or how about this? You trade on them 9+ wins. They win their first 4. The probability swings. You can trade in or out of your position just like that. You can take that profit and go trade on something else if you want to. Remember, on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, like it will throughout a season, you can buy in and out of your position, trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Right now, I can do you one better, by the way. Download the Kalshi app and use code TIMD, that's TIMD, to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. KALSHI, Kalshi, trade on anything. 18+ only, restriction and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. Gambling problem, call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. We need numbers game contestants, don't we? We have Billy Idol tickets. Billy Idol, there was a swell for the Billy Idol tickets. A lot of you out there are excited for Billy Idol. He's coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on August 23rd, and we want you to have a chance to win yourself those tickets. So call right now, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants. Call 919-860-5326. Call in right now. You can compete in the numbers game and maybe win those Billy Idol tickets. Numbers game coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
It's disgusting. It's annoying. If a billionaire tells you, hey, I just bought another yacht, are you like, wow, amazing, way to go? You're like, cool, rub it in. I don't have air conditioning. I don't think this is fun for other fans around Major League Baseball. The Dodgers can get anybody they want, and the worst part about this is a lockout is all but signed, sealed, delivered.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Plenty of companies will sell you a new roof. Fewer will tell you if you actually need one. Since 1915, people across the Carolinas have trusted the Baker name to do right by their homes. Baker Home Exteriors now does roofing, siding, windows, and doors, and always honest advice. The motto puts it plainly: we shall do good work, at a profit if we can, at a loss if we must, but always good work. Trust the team that's earned it for over 100 years. Baker Home Exteriors. Visit bakerhomeexteriors.com.
Yeah. Can you pass me a Baja?
A what?
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Try it. It's tropical at first, then the lime flavor hits.
Oh, okay. That's crisp. Tastes like vacation.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And it's mine now.
Have a Baja Blast.
Right now at Circle K, buy a 20-ounce Mountain Dew and get another for just $1. Do the Dew at Circle K today.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1490. That's 800-822-1490. 800-822-1490.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Our contestants for today, Frank in Clayton and David in Fuquay-Varina. They will be battling it out with jersey number trivia to see who wins Billy Idol tickets. We have a pair going to the winner, but it's got to be earned. And first we have to decide who goes first. So we'll bring each of them onto the show. We will ask them the same question. And that person, and Dennis will be our judge. He'll pick his favorite answer. And that person will go first, and we'll go from there. Frank and Clayton, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So we're doing this. We had Devonte Graham on the show earlier today. And one of the questions I asked him was, put together your starting five, but with all your former teammates. Now, obviously, we don't have teammates like Devonte Graham has teammates. So instead, you're in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It is you, Frank, and two others. Who are you playing with? Give me the two names that you're putting on your 3-on-3.
Oh, I was an old-time New York Knicks fan, so I'm going to go Clyde Frazier and Willis Reed.
Okay, and we're gonna assume that's Willis Reed before the knees went, right? That's
Absolutely.
MVP Willis Reed. All right. Any follow-ups, Dennis?
I'm assuming all players in their prime for this answer,
Yeah.
but yes, no questions.
All right, then we go to David in Fuquay-Varina. David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, inspired by a fun question we had with Devonte Graham earlier on the show. You're playing in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. It's you and two players from anywhere in the history of basketball. What two players are you drafting?
Hakeem Olajuwon and Jordan.
Okay, so it's funny. They both went with guys that are like connected to each other, with Frazier and Reed playing together, and obviously Jordan and Hakeem being in that same draft, number 1 and number 3. So you get MJ. Dennis says you get to pick. You have David, who went with MJ and Hakeem, and you have Frank, who went with Clyde the Glide and Willis Reed.
This is actually tougher than you think.
Also, I like that both like showed their personality in their picks. They didn't just go with like, GOAT debate. They didn't just go like MJ and LeBron. They showed a little bit of what they their own style.
And I respect that. I got to go with MJ and Hakeem.
A little local flair there too as well, right? MJ playing right here.
Yeah.
So there you go. David will get to go first. Really, that has very little impact on the actual competition, Frank, so just stay on hold. You just have to wait a little bit. David, are you ready to pick your category?
Yep.
All right. The categories are NFL players whose name sounds like they belong in nature. Major League Baseball players who led the league in triples at some point in their career. NBA players that were Ish Smith's teammates at some point or another in the NBA. Or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's do the NFL.
You said NFL?
Yep, NFL.
All right, these are NFL players whose names sound like they belong in nature. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock, one pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right, if that's the case, your time will start when you hear the horn. Travis Hunter, Jacksonville Jaguars.
15.
Incorrect. Randy Moss, Minnesota Vikings.
84.
Correct. A.J. Hawk, Green Bay Packers.
54.
Incorrect. Travis Hunter, Jacksonville Jaguars.
12.
Correct. D. Winters, San Francisco 49ers.
54.
Incorrect. A.J. Hawk, Green Bay Packers.
52.
Incorrect. D. Winters, San Francisco 49ers.
52.
Incorrect. A.J. Hawk, Green Bay Packers.
53.
You were all over those two, just not quite where you needed to be. You got Travis Hunter with 12. You got Randy Moss with 84. A.J. Hawk, you were in the low 50s. We needed 50. And then D. Winter, you were in the low 50s, and we needed 53. You never quite lined up with each of those. So 2 is the number to beat. Go ahead and stay on the line, and we'll see if it holds up.
Thank you.
And obviously, names sound like they belong in nature. Hunter, Moss, Hawk, Winters. There's some nature stuff going on there. Let's go to Frank and Clayton. Frank, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are Major League Baseball, guys who led the league in triples at some point in their career, NBA players that were teammates of Ish Smith at some point in their career, or NHL Hurricanes only.
I will do the Hurricanes.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope, I'm all set.
All right. Then if that's the case, your time will start. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Taylor Hall, Carolina Hurricanes.
71.
Correct. Shane Gostisbehere, Carolina Hurricanes.
4.
Correct. Joel Edmondson, Carolina Hurricanes.
6.
Correct. Merrick Malik, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
Correct. Brody Sutter, Carolina Hurricanes.
12.
Incorrect. Brody Sutter, Carolina Hurricanes.
16.
Incorrect. Brody Sutter, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Brody Sutter, Carolina Hurricanes.
21.
Incorrect. Brody Sutter, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Incorrect. Brody Sutter, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Brody Sutter, Carolina Hurricanes.
32.
Incorrect. Oh, I didn't get there. But you did win, so congratulations. It feels like a loss, but it's a definite win. You're getting the Billy Idol tickets. Quickly, for those of you playing at home, for Gostisbehere, we would have accepted 4 and 41. He's worn them both. And for Brody at the end there, 48 is the number we needed to get to. We were working in that direction, but we didn't quite get there. Still an impressive, very confident showing through the first 4 names. David, congratulations. You are the winner. Not a perfect score, but pretty darn close. Oh, sorry. Frank's our winner. I had the wrong one circled there. Frank, you are our winner. I apologize for messing up your name there. You deserve all of the celebration that comes with a 4 out of 5. So, Frank, congrats. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize.
I respect Frank just firing away.
I feel
just
like
throwing numbers out there.
I mean, I don't even think I was saying the guy's name by the end. I was Hurricane 28. It's just he had already won it, so I was like, we might as well go all out for the perfect score. And he smoked those first 4. I was like, this guy knows them all. Obviously, a little bit of the luck of the draw. You just got to get names you know. But that is a good win for Frank and Clayton.
28.
Incorrect. Brody Carroll. 30. Incorrect. That's all I had for him.
You knew what you were saying, though.
Hey, just had to, for timing, I had to say something. It didn't matter if I was messing up. That was well played by both, though. Well played by both. Good answers to the question to see who goes first, and then well played. Obviously, better played by Frank, but is what it is. And again, you never know which of these concerts are really gonna hit with you. The Billy Idol tickets expected to be the prize for the rest of the week. So if you missed out and you want to keep trying, tomorrow, same time, same place. Also, if you want to win tickets in a different way, you can visit 99.9 The Fan and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Tim McGraw at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on August 7th. Billy Idol, Tim McGraw, not exactly the crossover of fans, although I bet you there are some that are diehard fans of both. But if you want to win the Tim McGraw tickets, you can go to 999thefan.com or the 99.9 The Fan app, which you can download at the Google Play or App Store, and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Tim McGraw at at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on August 7th. If you want to win the Billy Idol tickets, you got to call in and earn it during the numbers game at some point this week, just as Frank and Clayton did. And actually, if you have good questions, sometimes I come with them on the spot. Sometimes I do them ahead of time. If you have good questions to see who goes first, kind of like icebreaker type sports questions, you can always send them to me on Twitter at Donnelly Sports. I might use some of them. I've been doing this now for like 3 years, coming up with questions to see who goes first, and sometimes the barrel gets a little dry.
So sometimes, like, all right, what's the one stadium you've always wanted to see but never have?
I try not to duplicate too often, but there are some tried and true. Best food for watching a game we've used.
Yeah.
Stadium. We do the athlete to get a beer with. We've done those multiple times.
John Daly. That's
John Daly. A lot of people say Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
There's some good ones. There's some good ones. But anyway, if you have a more unique one and you want to send it our way, you might just hear me use it on the show. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We did just have a winner who picked the Carolina Hurricanes. We're going to have some Canes conversation coming up. But first, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick. My good friends over at Law Tigers. Something I'm always keeping a monitor on, and I don't know if it's just my age is catching up to me or the fact that as a motorcycle rider, I'm always keeping a lookout on the weather. And that's not just for the fact that I got a vegetable garden and all those kinds of things. It's more or less that I got to make sure I'm safe when I'm out there on the road, because I might ride into work in the morning and then, everything looks fine. Everything's doing great. But we all know how things are in the state of North Carolina. Summertime, those afternoon thunderstorms, they just come and hit out of nowhere. So always be safe as a rider. Always check the forecast ahead. But if you ever stuck out in bad weather as a motorcycle rider, just find shelter as quickly as possible. Whether you got to go underneath an underpass, find a parking deck, whatever it might be. That way you can get some shelter, keep your bike safe, and also keep yourself safe as well. And as a motorcycle rider, you can still do all the right things and still find yourself at the wrong end of an accident. And if you're find yourself in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Because guess what? Insurance companies, folks, let's be honest. They're there to look out for themselves. They're not there to look out for you. They want to give you the least amount possible. Whereas Law Tigers, they're a part of the motorcycle riding community. They understand what your bike is worth, what your gear is worth, and they understand the dangers of the road. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. What part of the Carolina Hurricanes roster build is not getting enough love? I got you coming up.
Move your sports day forward.
Soccer put its best foot forward this summer and tried everything it could to not put its foot in its mouth. Stellar play from the world's top stars in Messi and Mbappe, and a cult social media hero in the chiseled Viking Erling Haaland. It's a shame this will all be forgotten for another 4 years. Maybe we could get Shakira and the Muppets to do a yearly halftime show.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
With over $110 million in total prizes, new scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery are dazzling the crowd. Get quick wins from Hit 50, Cash, Loteria Grande, and The Star. Massive cash blowout, bursting with $150, $300, and $3,000 prizes. Play and watch your luck shine. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.86 to 9.37. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Okay, before we talk Canes, a few things. If you're just tuning in, diehard Panthers fans will know the name. LeBrian Ray, part of the depth on the defensive line for the Carolina Panthers, has been placed on the reserved retired list. So that's another body they're going to have to replace on their defensive front. And now it's getting to the point with the Scorton injury, Turk Wharton's injury. Don't know when he'll be back. You throw in the LeBrian Ray retirement. Maybe they do make a move on the defensive front. We'll see. But just updating you on that. And also, it has begun with the fifth-year players that have just been granted eligibility by the court system. ESPN is reporting Indiana, right? Just that team that just won the national championship and definitely needs, all the breaks to go their way. Indiana star defensive lineman Stephen Daly, who led the national champion Indiana Hoosiers with 19 tackles for a loss last year, will return to the Hoosiers for his fifth year. Sources tell ESPN's Pete Thamel. He's set to be eligible for his fifth and final year in the wake of the district court ruling in Colorado. So the guy who led the national champions in tackles for a loss last year, just waiting around, hoping for another chance, and now he goes back to Indiana.
Good for him.
Good for him. Good for Indiana. Completely unfair. I think there should be a rule that if you win the national championship, you don't get to, if your players come back, they have to go play somewhere else. You can't be cranking at that level and just go, you know what? Yeah, we're going to bring back everybody that we thought we were planning to not have. But it started. There's going to be more and more of those conversations coming out in the next couple of days here, because football players especially can't wait to make their decision. They kind of got to find a place to play because the games are coming down pretty quick. Just little updates. Now let's talk Carolina Hurricanes. Was that me at the end of the numbers game? Yeah. I would recognize my gibberish anywhere.
28.
Incorrect, Brody. Carolina Hurricanes. I caught maybe incorrect at the beginning. Incorrect. But other than that, it was just nonsense. Have you seen those things online where it's like you can read paragraphs and sentences if you have the first letter and the last letter of every word is accurate and the middle can be all jumbled up and your brain just kind of unscrambles them and reads them? That's kind of what that was. I know what I said. Incorrect. Brody Suter, Carolina Hurricanes. Just the middles are all jumbled up.
We all understood.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't help them. Still didn't get it correct, but I did my best. Speaking of the Canes, quickly, there's obviously after you win the Stanley Cup, the offseason is paired with a lot of how did you do it, right? It's paired. You try to reverse engineer what you were able to do that other teams weren't. And a lot of this offseason has been spent praising certain decisions that were made over the last 2 years, right? Because within the last 2 years, Taylor Hall was acquired, Logan Stankoven was acquired, players like Jackson Blake were promoted to the big league club, Keandre Miller was acquired, Brandon Bussey was claimed off waivers. There's all of these kind of free agency trade deals and even negotiations on long-term contracts that are being highlighted. I don't want to underrate the stone-cold killer ability of the Carolina Hurricanes to draft well and recognize that is the foundation of which all of those really cool accessories were built on, like all of those players that were acquired. And shout out to Mike Bartner on Twitter. I don't necessarily agree with all of his ratings, but he went back and just started grading the top 20 picks in NHL drafts year over year, going back the last 10 years. And of course, I'm curious, right? So I'm just scrolling through and looking for the Canes. Starting in 2017, really, Jake Bean being the 13th overall pick in 2016 is really the last premier pick that you wouldn't hammer the Canes doing well on. 2017, 12th pick, Martin Necas. That's a really good pick. 2018, second overall pick, Andrei Svechnikov. Pretty good pick. 2018, Svech. 2019, no top 20 picks. 2020, 13th pick, Seth Jarvis. That's a really good pick. And then no top 20 picks in 21, 22, 23. From 2017 to 2023, they had 3 top 20 picks. Now, obviously, they do a lot of trading back. They do a lot of gathering assets. It's very Canes of them. But if you're only going to make 3 premier picks, you have to nail them, right? If you miss on them, you just don't have the benefit of promoting from within to get top 6 forwards or top pairing defensemen. Now, you mix in with that some of their notable other picks, like just in recent years, just since 2020, 3rd rounder Alexander Nikishin, 4th rounder Jackson Blake in 2021, 7th rounder Joel Nystrom 2021, 5th rounder Charles Alexis Legault 2023. Players that stepped up when they needed to this year. Drafting incredibly well is exceptionally difficult. I would say hockey is one of the more, maybe only baseball is more difficult. Baseball, I mean, a lot of, like, you draft someone 2nd overall, you're not sure they're ever going to get to the bigs. NHL is a difficult thing to draft, and they have done exceptionally well over the last 10 years.
Go back even one more year, 2019, 2nd round was Pyotr Kochetkov.
2nd round Pyotr Kochetkov, who you didn't even really get the benefit of this year to win a Stanley Cup. You're drafting so well that you have great non-first round picks that are hurt most of the year, and you win the Stanley Cup anyway. Like they've drafted so well, and I don't want that to be overlooked when you get together. And by the way, like, I'm not downplaying anything else. I just think they've gotten their love. Like the Logan Stankoven trade and the Ehlers signing, I'm not saying those weren't impactful, but I'm just saying that's where all of our brains go when trying to figure out how the Canes got where they are. And I also want to be like, they did the flashy really well, right? The flashy things like trading first-round picks for 6'5" defensemen. They did the flashy well, like signing the biggest free agent of the entire offseason in Nikolai Ehlers, and my first example was Keandre Miller. But they also did the boring really well, which is just making sure you're finding value in the 3rd round, right? Taking the appropriate high upside shots in the 7th round. Like, they're also doing the really, really boring things well over and over and over again, and that has led to where, like, a Brandon Bussey can be the magical player that he was, right? If Brandon Bussey is thrown out there and you don't have Jackson Blake and you don't have Andrei Svechnikov and you don't have Seth Jarvis, some of those early wins where he was winning like 6-5, where he was building his confidence, but really, he was getting the run support, if you know what I mean. Like, that may not happen, and who knows what happens to Brandon Bussey. Right? You have to continue to do the day in and day out, year in and year out things super disciplined, super well. And they did that starting a long time ago, which has allowed them to then kind of, finish it off with the flash, the panache, right? Have all of the big reveal, but it's only because they got it right so often for so long. I mean, and you can go back a little further. What was it? Hannafin and Sebastian Aho in the same draft? Like,
2015.
There's just a lot of years where they found value where a lot of teams were passing on value.
I mean, Jacob Slavin, Brett Pesce, even like 2013, 2014, those mid-round picks.
And that's really where it all started if you look at where all this stuff kept growing. So I wanted to highlight the drafting here. I don't think it gets enough love, and I wanted to do what I can to make sure that it does. I mean, Jackson Blake in the 4th with like this decade, and it already paid off the way it did. That is a heck of a drafting.
I mean, Joel Nystrom, the 38 games he played for you this season, played well.
7th rounder.
Yeah.
This decade, 2021. 4th and 7th round in that draft, Jackson Blake and Joel Nystrom. That's a really, really good draft for not having a top 20 pick. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I want to remind everybody to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. Not only subscribe, but jump in the comments, mix it up. Love to see that community growing. Obviously, keep it above board, right? Don't cross any lines. But sports-wise, have at it. That's the best part about sports, right? You can disagree, you can yell and scream, and then you can go hang out because you're still friends. Jump in the comment section, have a good time there. You might just hear it here on the show during things like a feedback frenzy. So do that, and then also we're trying to multi-level marketing this bad boy. If you like it, subscribe, and then get 3 of your friends to like it and subscribe, and then get their each to get 3 friends, and pretty soon we'll have infinity subscribers. So do that, please, and enjoy Overdrive. Coming up next, we have some UNC football talk to start off. And as always, we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a great night, everybody.
Excuse me, you think you could spare a square?
Sorry, what?
A square on your smartphone.
Oh, yeah, for the 99.9 The Fan app.
Exactly. Listen to your favorite hosts, teams, and live sports action.
The Carolina Hurricanes are the best team in the NHL. They won the 2026 Stanley Cup.
And every podcast episode at your fingertips, anytime, anywhere.
Available for Apple iPhone and Android phones. Download the 99.9 The Fan app today.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Refuel and get 25 cents off per gallon when you buy 2 20-ounce Pepsi Zero Sugars with Refuel Rewards.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You're listening to the Financial Safari News Network.
From Coach Pete's Money Desk, America's wealth coach and best-selling author, Coach Pete D'Arruda. Coach, what are some tips on smart saving before retirement?
Yeah, the easiest way to save money is to make sure you have it in a place you can save it. And so once you see it, the chances of you saving it, minimalize. They go down. Because if it's in front of you, what do you usually do?
Spend it.
Or you charge. You need that money to pay the credit card off, right? So the best way to save is to have it out of sight, out of mind, where it comes out of your paycheck and goes into the savings account automatically. That's what the 401k does, 403b if you're a teacher, TSP if you're a federal employee, or an IRA if you're a regular person. You can have IRAs come right out of your checking account. So let's get a right account established. We can do that for you out there as well if you call right now.
Call 888-456-7577, 888-456-7577, or text ZONE to 600-700.
Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader. It's 6 o'clock. Time to shift into overdrive. All highlights, no filler, as we run it back from the drive with Tim Donnelly.
The Carolina Panthers are changing their play call. They're not changing their offensive coordinator. They're not changing their offensive designer. They're changing their offensive play caller, and we give that one of the biggest changes of the offseason hype. The Carolina Tar Heels, rightfully so, by the way, are changing a lot more than that, okay? They were 129th out of 134 teams in FBS in total offense last year. 129th out of 134. And you can look at other metrics. It doesn't get much better. 118th in scoring offense, 115th in red zone offense efficiency. Changes needed to happen. Freddie Kitchens was the offensive coordinator. He was fired. The team's top two quarterbacks, Gio Lopez and Max Johnson, who took nearly every single snap at quarterback, were both lost in the transfer portal. Gio went to Wake Forest, Max Johnson to Georgia Southern. Even touted freshman Bryce Baker, who didn't play, but did bring in a considerable amount of hype out of the recruiting trail, he did hit the transfer portal. He's now on Virginia Tech's roster. So they kind of cleaned house. Not everybody, right? Some offensive linemen stuck around. Jordan Shipp stuck around. Damon June, the running back, stuck around. But a nearly full changeover. And their play designer, their offensive coordinator, and play caller is now Bobby Petrino. Now, Bobby Petrino, I think how good of a coach you think he is, probably it's decided by when you got to know Bobby Petrino. This will be his 10th stop as an offensive coordinator. He's also been a head coach at times. He's been, I have him written down here, head coaching stops at Louisville, Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and Missouri State, as well as the Atlanta Falcons. And then 10 stops as an offensive coordinator. The thing that I like the most about, two things that I like the most about Bobby Petrino, because I think there's a lot of talk about him off the field, right? He's gotten himself into some scandals. He's left teams in the middle of the season. He's done some strange things as far as like socially or professionally. As a coach, though, there's two things that I would be excited by if I were a Carolina Tar Heels diehard fan. The first is he's had a lot of success in college, right? The Carolina Tar Heels have brought in, when they brought in Bill Belichick, a wealth of NFL knowledge, but they didn't bring in a ton of college success. So he understands, the very basics, right? How much can a 20-year-old who's going to class and dealing with social dynamics consume in a week? How much customization can you put into your plan each week, right? How many times do you have to reinstall? There's a quote going around now that he's saying he's installed his offense 4 times. And if you install an offense 3 times, even to a college kid, they better know it, right? So he just keeps hammering it home. He's had success in college. And then secondly, he doesn't have a system, right? It's not, hey, I need you to do exactly what I do. Maybe the best way to describe this is if you look at 2 of his best college offenses, one of them ended with Lamar Jackson at Louisville winning the Heisman Trophy, right? So Lamar Jackson was running for like 1,400 yards, throwing for 2,000-something yards, touchdowns all over the place, hurdling people, spinning, like running quarterback stuff. He was right there with it. Another one of his best offenses came from when he was at Arkansas, where he had Ryan Mallett as his quarterback, and he was leading the SEC in a bunch of passing categories. Now, Ryan Mallett, who has since passed away, so tragedy and all of that, but during his playing career, he was a statue, right? He's like 6'8". He stands there, and he throws the football, right?
Maybe an arm.
An absolute cannon,
yeah.
but not like he was at Michigan as a freshman, played well, and left when Rich Rod took over because he was like, oh, he's probably going to ask the quarterback to run. And I don't do that, right? So he goes to Arkansas, pairs up with Petrino, leads the SEC in a bunch of passing categories. I love that for an offensive play caller and an offensive mind. To be able to go, I have this Ferrari of Lamar Jackson, I'm going to use that in the best way I know how. Or I have this gigantic tank with a cannon attached to it and Ryan Mallett, and I know how to make that work, right? It's not I have to go out and recruit to my system. I can just go recruit the best players and then form my system around them. The concern would be this, and I have a quote here directly from Bobby Petrino. It was pushed out there by the school. When I got here, I wasn't looking to run my offense. We have really good coaches on offense, guys with great experience. We've got a head coach with 6 Super Bowls, so we wanted to put together the North Carolina offense. I like to get input from everybody. We're starting to mold it together as our offense. If you were around the offense last year, I'm not sure I want Bobby Petrino asking you. I think I want him teaching you. I think I want him saying, this is what we're going to do. We need to teach this as a group to the players, but I'm going to be the one. This is not a collaborative event. This is an offensive dictatorship. And Bobby Petrino is the one, again, football-wise, he's a very impressive mind on the field schematically. Bill Belichick